My name's Angelo, and welcome to the call-in show. If you're wondering what this is, if you're new here and you haven't seen a call-in show before, well, that's exactly what this is. You can join me live right now on this stream, ask some questions, hang out. This show is for the boys. If you're a premium member, you do want to hop on here, make a couple of comments, ask a couple of questions. It is very easy. The only thing you need to do is click on the account page on premium. There's a link right there that says call-in show. Or in the Discord, go to the Premium Alerts channel. Or if you have the app downloaded, in the app, go to account and you'll see the button right there. Then you can hop in, ask yourself a question. I see you, Moneybags. The one caveat to all of this is you're going to need your camera on. You need a camera on. You're not joining the show without a camera. No audio only. Don't trust it. You guys are weasels. So camera's on. Moneybags, camera's on. Sorry, pal. But we're just hanging out. This is a casual show. Topics will be all over the place. Ranting, raving, doing all the things. What I plan on doing is just chatting, hanging out, keeping up. If you hop in, you hop in. I did want to chat quickly about UFC Saudi Arabia. I also want to chat about UFC 311. I got a couple of thoughts. Obviously, I did the recap video. Since the recap video, we've learned some new things. We've heard some theories. And I've been thinking a lot about Arman Tsarukyan not ending up in the main event. And they told us it was a back injury. And frankly, it may be some sort of injury, and he might not have been 100%. I know there's a lot of theories out there that it was a weight cut issue. The weight cut was not going well, and he blamed it on his back. And obviously, Dana White's reaction is what really triggered all this. So if you don't know any of this, obviously we were supposed to get Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan pulled out last minute. Literally, last minute. The middle of the night before. He pulled out. And when he pulled out, they swapped in for Renato Moicano. The interesting part about all that is they said he got a back injury. But the reality is, the day before a fight, you're just cutting weight. Some very light calisthenics to keep the body moving. Maybe he does a salt brine, essentially, in the bath. Maybe he uses a sauna. Everybody's a little different. But there should be nothing strenuous that would hurt his back. So now the theories are it wasn't a back injury. That's just what he's saying to save face. It was either the yips, which I don't think it was the yips. This man has been in many, many fights before. I don't think he was afraid to fight. So it wasn't the yips. So it's either the yips or a weight issue. I personally think it's somewhere in between weight issue and actually hurt. I think he did have to cut a ton of weight. The guy looked absolutely boxed up, shredded. He looked absolutely humongous, tremendous leading into that fight. I don't know what his weight was. He said the weight cut was going well, but you can't trust that. So yeah, he may have had to cut a little too much weight and it wasn't going well. But if that's the case, it's easier to blame it on a bad weight cut. We've seen fighters time and time again. Kidneys shut down, bad weight cut. This happened, bad weight cut. So we've seen that time and time again. To say back injury, I don't think he made it up. I do think his back hurt. I do think he hurt his back. Now, was it related to the weight cut? Potentially, right? He was very sucked out. Too dry, cutting too much weight. His muscles are too tense. There's not enough moisture in there, and maybe he pulled something. I also think he probably could have fought, and that seems to be what Dana White thought as well. Because in the post-fight press conference, they talked to Dana White, and they said, hey, Dana, I see you guys in the chat. I'll get you here in the call-in queue here. I'll get you here in a second. Let me finish this thought. Avery, there's nothing on your screen, so we're going to need to see something. And then El Huapo, I'll grab you in a second. Anyway, so I do think there was an injury there. But Dana White in the post-fight press conference seems pretty adamant this guy's going to work his way back up. He is not getting an immediate title shot. He was obviously somebody who was very disappointed and didn't seem like somebody who was like, shit happens. You know, I believe him. So he definitely did not seem like he believed him. He's not going to come right out and say that. My theory here is Arman definitely hurt himself. Probably could have fought. He was probably at 80% instead of 100. Probably could have fought and it probably would have been fine. But let's all not forget, Arman is rich. His family is rich, like many tens or hundreds of millions of dollars rich. They own an island rich. Somebody that rich who has all those things doesn't need to fight for the money. What we end up seeing many times in this sport, even at the highest level, is people will fight for the money. They will be a little injured. Look what happened to TJ Dillashaw. His shoulder basically wasn't even attached to his body anymore, but he fought anyway for that paycheck. But when you have hundreds of millions or tens of millions, I don't know how much they have, you don't need to fight injured. Who cares about the couple $100,000 you would make to have that fight? So I think that's where we sort of ended up. I think Arman probably hurt himself a little bit because he was cutting so much weight. Probably could have still fought. Chose not to because he doesn't need the money. And if I'm going to fight for a title, this might be my only chance. I got to be 100%. So can't really fault the guy. It is interesting, though, to see how, Dana White's got some real disdain. The problem is, how long could Dana possibly be mad for? How long could he hold it over Arman's head? Because who else? There's nobody else that's going to fight for that title. Who else? Dustin? Smoked. Justin Gaethje? Just lost. Like, who else could fight for that title? Arman is the only logical person. Moicano, if he won, would have made sense. But he didn't win. So it's going to have to be Arman. They probably won't do an immediate rematch. Or it's not even a rematch. It never happened. They probably won't do it next. But they're going to have to do it. Because literally, if I look at the rankings now, let's look up UFC. I'll get to you, Huapo. Give me a second. God damn it. I'm ranting. If we look at the UFC lightweight rankings, Arman, Charles Oliveira already lost that fight, is going to have to win another one, right? All he did was beat Michael Chandler. Justin Gaethje coming off a knockout loss. He's already booked. Dustin Poirier just lost. Max Holloway just lost. Dan Hooker, he definitely doesn't earn a title shot with a win over Mateusz Gamrot, but he's also fighting Justin Gaethje. Michael Chandler just lost. Gamrot just lost. Beneil Dariush coming off 2 losses, didn't fight. Renato Moicano just lost. Rafael Fiziev, I forget what's up with him. Paddy Pimblett fighting for a title would be an absolute clown show. Jalen Turner did not earn a title shot. Benoit Saint-Denis just got mauled. Maybe Grant Dawson, but that's a mauling as well. I just went through the top 15 fighters. Arman Tsarukyan is the only one that you can make a legitimate case for outside of Charles Oliveira. You could stretch and be like former champion. You could stretch for Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan's the only one. And all that ranting and raving is basically to say, that's the fight Dana White has to do. And Islam said he's not moving up. He's not going to fight Bilal. They're friends. So, interesting situation. Now, Wapo, show me your face. I'll throw you on here. I did want to talk about that briefly. We have a $2 super chat from Evan Mouse. Love the content, Angelo, but lock of the week is must-see media. Lock of the week, quite literally, is some of the most well-edited videos you'll see. Couple of things about lock of the week. If you're an OG, Sean Shelby, he could fight Max. Max just got knocked out cold. Why would he get a title fight? What kind of joke is that? Just knocked out cold. Cold knocked out. Anyway, if you guys have been around for a while, the newer lock of the weeks are unbelievable edits. Like phenomenal music. Jacob spends hours and like 4, 5, 6 hours putting that together. And they're great edits, great highlights. They used to be skits. And he used to come up with these extravagant skits. Everybody was, he's on a losing streak. Do you guys not remember? You know how we call new UFC fans casuals? I'm calling new We Want Picks fans casuals. You casuals might not remember when Jacob was on a little bit of a losing streak last year. He's never lost more than 4 in a row. Keep in mind, these are all underdogs. All underdogs. No favorites. All underdogs. He's never lost more than 4 in a row, ever. And the last time, I believe, he was on a 4-fight losing streak, he was living out of his car. He had that whole thing going. Don't you guys remember when he moved into his car? Those bits that he had going on, hiding out under a tree. Those were some of the most original pieces of content we have ever put out. I am going to move a slide here because this is also unbelievable content. If you saw this 1.5 minute video and you're like, what the hell is this? Which seems to be the consensus. A lot of people commenting on this video, We Want Picks casuals, you disgusting casuals. We're like, what the hell? That was a great edit, but what the hell did I just watch? Let me catch you up very quickly. You watch the sequel to this. We got one of the best videos we ever put out. I promise I'll get to you, Wapo. You also keep doing weird shit with your camera. So every time I'm about to go to you, you're gone. So I don't know what to do. I can't hear you, so I can only see you. Anyway, this video here, The Greatest Troll. I was getting trolled for a full year. A full year. Somebody named Kuyu was in the comment section saying horrible things about me for a year. Popping up, saying terrible things. And then one day I figured out who that was. Turns out it's my friend. And this video, this Greatest Troll, is like a True Detective style documentary on me figuring that out. One of the most creative pieces of media ever made, ever. You need to watch this video. This is the follow-up to that, because if you watched our live stream for UFC 311, that dude, the troll, popped up right behind me, right here. Literally came into my home wearing that creep mask and scared the shit out of me. So watch that content. El Huapo, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up?
How
Wow.
are you?
I got
Welcome
a
to the
question.
show.
Am I live on YouTube right now?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Connor. You should be watching right now.
All right. What's up,
Connor, if you're
Connor?
watching, okay, I hope you're watching right now. I just sent him a text. We've been fans for a while. Like all of last year, we've been watching your breakdowns. We love it, and we're getting better at the gambling. We're getting better at making some good
It's a
picks. We
wild
cashed
sport to bet on. It's
Yeah,
a wild sport to
we
bet
cashed
on.
a few big ones last Saturday.
Nice. What'd you get?
We bet on Marab and we bet on
Nice.
Yuri. Yeah.
Nice.
And Eileen Perez. I threw that one in for fun, but that wasn't a big one. I just wanted to see them cheeks clap,
And they did. And they did.
Yeah, so is Jacob getting on too?
He may not. These off week call-in shows, sometimes he hops on, sometimes he chills.
Awesome, man. And by the way, we're all the way on the east coast of Canada here in Newfoundland.
You sound Canadian.
So we're far away, bud. Yeah, like the most easterly point actually. So it's a little island on the east coast of Canada. So shout out to any Newfies in the chat here.
Nice.
I
Welcome.
don't know if there's any, but yeah, dude, I love what you guys are doing. I love the long video. We get together and watch the long video you and Jacob do on
The live show. Yeah.
The live show, yeah. Yeah, we love it, man. We get together, have a few beers. It's good entertainment, and we are getting better at the picks. And
Nice.
I only recently became a premium member, and I love the app. The app's very well done.
Thank you. That's all that credit goes to. So the front of this, you see me, you see Jacob. Behind the scenes, there's a guy named Josh that does the website, and the app was his whole thing. He ran all that down, so I'm sure Josh appreciates that feedback.
Perfect,
the app's
man.
been a hit. We have thousands of downloads, so I'm glad people are actually using it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wasn't even fully expecting what I was getting into here. You caught me off guard. I was like, oh my God, can he see me right now?
The hell did you think a call-in show was?
I was put on the spot, dude. I didn't know it was going to happen right away.
What did you think this was?
I would have had a little something prepared here, but
You're
I
good.
said what I had to say. But yeah, so who do you have? Who do you got? Israel Adesanya or Mava?
I picked Adesanya, but I'm not betting on him. The reason I picked him is because Adesanya, yes, he just got sort of bullied, right? He just got bullied by Dricus. He just got submitted. Yeah. But his striking looked phenomenal in that fight. He was ripping Dricus's body. Like he was attacking more than he usually attacks. I thought he looked good in that fight. So I just think if he's going to be in a mostly striking match against Imambov, he's the better striker. And obviously everybody knows you can beat Izzy if you take him down, but I'm not betting on that fight for those reasons.
Yeah, there's that. And I'm on a fine line with that fight too, but the Alex Pereira line was very shocking to me. I'm thinking about slamming that one.
He's a 2-1 dog, right?
That's unbelievable. I don't think we'll ever see Alex with those odds ever again.
I mean, everybody assumes that he's going to get taken down, and
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to be taken down easy. I don't think so.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Ankalaev is a lion bitch or not, because he was insisting. While begging publicly for this fight, he said, I swear to you, I promise, I will not shoot a single takedown. And that's a bad idea.
We'll see what happens when he gets hit by Alex.
100%. Look, he just barely beat Racic. Barely beat Racic.
Yeah, I know. Dude.
Barely.
I'm considering slamming that line. It's too tempting,
I mean, if he decides to wrestle, it could literally look like DDP versus Adesanya. Right? If Ankalaev wrestles, he could just push him around, take him down, and just kind of make him look stupid. But until we see it, got to go with Alex.
And just one more thing, and I'll let you go. I got to call my buddy back now, too.
Sure.
This is insane. Can't believe I'm on here.
I appreciate you.
Our boy Steve Garcia is coming up against Barboza. I'm becoming a huge fan of Steve Garcia, man. I bet on him every single one of his wins.
He just keeps winning quietly,
Dude, he's so exciting, and I can't wait for that fight. I can't wait. I think he's going to get another finish. And he's one of those fighters I'm just going to bet on him until he loses,
What's impressive about him is he's winning, and he's not winning he's winning and he's winning by finish, but he doesn't do anything crazy. He's just tough, and he moves forward like a man. That's it.
He's landing those big shots. He's got good timing on those big shots, man. It's really good.
Yeah, no, Steve Garcia is just quietly building himself a nice little resume there.
That's awesome, man. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch lately. I'm becoming a huge fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's
I'm
5
also a fan.
knockouts in a row.
I'm also a fan of Marab now. I'm loving what Marab's doing inside
How
and
could you
outside
not
the
be?
cage. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was always a character, and yeah, he's kind of a decision machine, but he's not like a Grant Dawson decision machine. Grant Dawson will lay on you and be boring as shit. He's not a Grant Dawson decision machine. He's just constant forward pressure, cardio, pressure, cardio. Like it's his fights aren't boring, even though they're all decisions.
Yeah, he's one of those fighters I've really come around on. I hated him since he beat Aldo, pretty much, and I've kind of been like,
well,
not
that fight
fan,
was
not fan of his style and stuff like that. But what he's doing in and out of the cage now is just crazy. He's got a gas tank on like anything we ever seen.
Yeah, it is insane. It's next level for sure. It's crazy.
Well, anyways, man, I don't know what else to say here now. I think I got it all out.
All right, well, I appreciate you calling in. We try to hit a cadence where we do these every single Thursday, so I won't be able to do it next Thursday.
Okay, dude.
We try to.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get back here next Thursday. I'll have a.
Well, next Thursday's not happening because I'll be out of town. But the Thursday after that, I should be around.
Next Thursday, then, yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in, man.
I appreciate you, bro. All right.
All right. See ya.
Man. See ya.
Bye. We got Avery. You're muted. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm all right, man. How are you? Where are you?
I am in Tejas.
Oh, so am I. Where?
Dallas. Well, Mesquite, but yeah.
Oh, you ever watch our vlogs?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, Casey from the vlogs is from Mesquite.
Casey. Oh, sorry. I don't know everybody. Who's Casey?
Yeah. He's just he's my wife's cousin, and he comes over, watches the fights, hangs out. He's from Mesquite.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got some Mesquite ties. He might be a little older than you. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Yeah, he's like 35, so a little older.
Cool. Okay. Question: Who are you taking? Are you taking Weili or are you taking Tatiana Suarez? I gotta go Suarez because of the wrestling. I think Weili's striking hasn't looked the best lately.
That's really tough to break down. So normally I lean very heavily on wrestlers, right? I normally will, if you can control where the fight goes, I'm going to pick you to win. This is tough because Weili's the best to do it at that weight class. But if she just keeps getting taken down, what the hell is she going to do? At the same time, Tatiana Suarez fights once every 5 years. She's never fought anybody nearly as good as Weili. She only earned this shot because the rest of the weight class kind of sucks. So it's it's tough. Like my gut is saying Weili, but my brain is like, pick the better wrestler. But my gut is saying Weili, and Weili's a dog, isn't she?
I thought she was a slight favorite.
Let me check. Yeah, I for some reason I thought she was a dog, but I didn't. I'm not betting on that, so I didn't deep dive it. What do you think?
I don't know. It's just Weili didn't look too good in her last fight against Yan Xiaonan. I mean, I know she basically dropped her and subbed her in the same round, but she was loading up. Yeah,
she finished her twice in one round.
Yeah. Hey man, Yan Xiaonan is really tough. They're tough. Weili
is a slight favorite.
Yeah, but yeah, I just didn't like her striking in the last fight. She was loading up a lot, and she was pretty much kind of depending on the wrestling a lot heavier too. I just didn't like the way her striking looked. I mean, I know Suarez probably doesn't have the best striking. She's probably just like a ones and twos to set up a takedown, but I don't know. I think Suarez is going to have a size advantage for sure, and she's going to be stronger, and her entries are going to be way better, quicker. She's going to be sharper. I mean, Weili's kind of getting old. Like, she's like, what, 35, 36?
I'm actually pulling it up right now on the stats site to see, because I wanted to see the only wrestler Tatiana fought. The only person trying to take her down, or two people, Carla Esparza and Jessica and Montana De La Rosa. And I'm trying to see if any of them did take her down, because I always am a big, you wrestle the wrestler, right? Like if I'm Weili or if I'm Weili's coach, say she's a nasty wrestler, don't wait for her to shoot. You take her down, because it's a lot harder to defend a takedown than it is to get one. Let's see who took down Tatiana Suarez, and absolutely fucking nobody has taken her down. Okay. Well,
I mean,
there
Weili could win for sure. I mean, she has power and she's durable, and she's on the sauce. So
Where did that accusation come from?
I mean,
Jesus.
I mean, I seen a picture of her. She looked absolutely diced, like she was shredded, and she can lift Ngannou, and also her back's kind of crazy.
She did lift Ngannou. That is crazy.
Yeah, and she's got power. She's got power. She's got cardio for 5 rounds. She doesn't really seem to slow down unless things aren't going her way. I don't know.
It is tough. I'm looking at let's see. I mean, Weili's takedown defense is only 50%. Yan Jinan took her down 3 times. Carla Esparza took her down.
Yeah. Yan Jinan's really good. Who do you think is the strawweight GOAT, though? Because, I mean, Rose lost to Carla twice, but she beat Weili twice. So
I thought she lost to Weili the second time, honestly. I thought that was a bad decision.
Oh, I think that judge was corrupt. She gave it 4-1 to Weili, 4-1 to Usman, and then she gave Gaethje 3-0 on that card. They were all fighting, even though Gaethje got rocked and almost finished in the first round.
Yeah, I think that was a bad decision. It would either be Weili or Joanna. I mean, Joanna did it when nobody else was doing it. Joanna was like the first dominant champion.
Yeah.
Then Weili showed up and started to change things. So I mean, it's between Weili and Joanna. It's probably Joanna if I'm looking at Joanna's record because. I mean, she was beating women when they were in their prime. Like, she beat Carla Esparza prime. This woman sucks. This woman sucks. Claudia Gadelha was decent. This one sucks. Jessica Andrade.
Claudia was all right. I mean, she's probably only got one good win on her, 1 or 2 good wins on her record.
This resume is not looking so good right now. Weili's might actually be a better resume. Amanda Lemos, that was a great fight. She beat Carla as well, but an old Carla. She beat Joanna twice, beat Andrade, Pennington. It might be Weili if we're looking at quality of wins. Who do you think?
I don't know. I just really don't know. I mean, I want to say Rose because she beat Weili twice. She beat Joanna twice. She lost twice to Carla, so that's kind of the only thing holding her down. And
she beat Tracy.
Oh,
she beat Tracy Cortez. That's up a weight, but she beat Tracy Cortez. Right. Amanda Ribas.
Lost to Blanchfield and Fiora.
Yeah, Amanda Ferrell. That's up a weight. Both of those are up a weight, I believe. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, because there's an argument to be made for all 3 of those women. They've all beaten each other.
Yeah. Also, I remember back in the day when I first started watching your channel, I remember you always used to say, "Don't bet on women." And
that's Jacob. No, that was Jacob.
I swear,
Jacob was like, never bet on women. Too. No, I think that's sexist. I love betting on women. So I just bet on Aylin.
Oh yeah, I bet on her too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in women's MMA, if you can just get the takedown, you kind of win the fight. No offense.
That's why I picked Aylin. Where I was like, man, these female. If you're a female wrestler, you can win a whole shitload of fights by not being the better fighter, just by being able to get the takedowns. And we're seeing that with Tracy Cortez does that. Jazzy DeVicious does that. Aylin Perez does that. None of them are the better fighters in most of their matchups, and they just keep winning.
Yep. Same with Merab. I mean, I like Merab. He's cool. Like I love to watch him. I actually think he's exciting. Like the pace he pushed against Jan, just constantly shooting. That was exciting to watch.
It was. Yeah.
But in terms of actual skill, it's cardio kind of just carries him through every fight.
That first round, so Casey and I watched together, and that first round we were like, Umar is so good.
I know.
And then after the fight, we found out he broke his hand because we were like, why is he slowing down? And then we found out his hand was broken. Like, okay. But in that first round, when it was skill for skill and cardio didn't matter yet, Umar was very clearly the better fighter. Very clearly.
First 2 rounds for sure, Umar won 2-10.
And then the pace took over, the hand. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've seen an x-ray of the hand. So, I'm assuming it's broken based off what he said. But, yeah, I mean, cardio will make up for a lot of skill gaps, and it's working for Merab.
It's also working for Anthony Hernandez too, because just nothing about him. He's not good. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's not cardio.
He's not fast. He's not athletic. He doesn't hit hard. His wrestling's not even that good, but he's durable as hell. and he can just go forever. And that's just winning them fights. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I guess, it's just a lot of these pace pushing wrestlers, grapplers like Austin Bashi and even Durden. And I know he just lost, but I mean the pace he pushed against Charles Johnson, that was crazy. Like he did that for 3 rounds straight. Like that was crazy. Like Johnson could get off no offense. So I'm just starting to think like what's the key to beating these guys? Like I know you can wrestle them, but if they don't get tired and you're wrestling them, like eventually you're gonna get tired. Because I wrestled a little bit in college, and then also do you know SFS MMA?
No.
Oh, it's a gym in Mesquite. Ugly Man Joe trains there.
Oh, okay. Oh, he threatened Jacob's life. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I saw him at Walmart in Garland. I was gonna talk to him, but I was like, nah, I don't want to bother him.
Oh, Joe?
Yeah. I saw him with his wife.
He threatened Jacob's life one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like literally on Twitter.
Yeah, he actually taught one of the classes when I did jiu-jitsu over there. But back to my point, I was saying, so yeah, with wrestling, it's super hard on the body, and you gas out super fast. So I'm like, what's the secret to beating these cardio pushers? Like, I feel like it has to be like waiting for them to get old, because Colby, he's heckin' old right now. He can
it falls off a cliff. Yeah, when that cardio goes, it goes. Like Kobe's cardio looks terrible. All of a sudden, that pace is garbage.
And I don't even think it's just the pace. I think Kobe still has great cardio. I mean, he trains in Colorado sometimes, but it's just I think it's just all the wear and tear on his body. Yeah, he's slow. The wear and tear on his body. You can't shoot when your body is like torn to shreds.
Well, that's what happened to Usman. Sorry, my contacts are dry as hell. That's what happened to Usman, right? Bad knees. Was like a phenomenal wrestler, then just stopped wrestling because he just couldn't wrestle anymore.
I mean, his knees are destroyed, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you beat the cardio guys. It's funny because obviously, like some talents are God-given, right? Some people are faster than other people. They just are. Some people hit harder. They just do. Some people have better chins. Some people are just more athletic, right? We all have a friend that's just fucking good at everything, and they don't have to try at it. And some people do have very good cardio, but everybody can earn cardio. Everybody. And it's crazy to me. And I wouldn't even say that Umar's cardio was bad. I just think he broke his hand, and because somebody commented in the chat that an x-ray was posted. So his hand is officially broke, and he fought the greatest cardio guy we've ever seen. So I wouldn't even say Umar's cardio was bad. But yeah, when you fight somebody that has that insane level of cardio and no giant skill gap, like you could have all the cardio in the world, but if you can't defend the takedown, there you go. Bingo. There's the win. But without a giant skill gap and all the cardio in the world, I don't know who's going to beat Merab. Like literally, I have no idea who's going to beat Merab.
I do think that they should, since there's no clear contender. MMA Guru was talking about this. Since there's no clear contender for bantamweight right now or featherweight, I think they should do. I mean, not featherweight or flyweight right now, because I mean, Royval's still. I think he needs another one. He already lost twice to Pantoja.
Oh, I think Royval's moving up.
Oh, he's moving up to bantamweight?
I thought he said he was. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw an interview where he said
that's not a good idea. He's already a pencil at flyweight, so he's not going to have any strength, and his chin's not going to be able to. I mean, because if he's getting dropped at flyweight, I don't. But yeah, what was I going to say? I totally forgot.
You're trying to say what they should do for the next title shot?
Oh yeah, do Pantoja versus Merab.
But Pantoja's got to go up. Yeah. Rob can't go down, so Pantoja's got to go up.
I think give Pantoja some time. Put Merab and Pantoja on ice for now, because we don't have any contenders. I mean, I don't know if they're going to give O'Malley a free shot after he got
O'Malley. Who the hell is O'Malley going to beat? Merab dog walked him. That's only going to get worse, not better. Umar also beats him. I mean, they got to do Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. That's the only fight they should do for Sean next. That's it.
I kind of wanted to see them do the rematch against Jan, so Jan can get the win back.
Oh, Piotr Jan? Yeah, I mean, I could watch that. I mean, because Piotr Jan just worked Figgy. He can't fight Figgy either. Figgy will take him down too.
Yeah, Figgy's really good. I hope he doesn't go back down to flyweight. He looks really good at bantamweight.
Yeah, he just lost to the better guy, but yeah, he looked good in that fight.
Yeah, I want to see Aldo versus Sandhagen, because I think Aldo deserves a jump up. I mean, he has wins over Vera and Font. So I think he should be fighting someone up the rankings.
We never got to see Aldo versus, and we're never going to see it. We never got to see Aldo versus Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, UFC's matchmaking is garbage. I think they should have did Cara France versus Manel Cap for the Australia card, and then they should have re-signed Makayev. Just said, hey, you know what? We were tripping. We'll
Bygones
bring
be
you back.
bygones. Yeah, yeah.
Makayev versus Roy Val, and then Amabayev versus Moreno, and then we'll have somebody jump through and be a fresh
Yeah.
matchup for Pantoja.
Yeah, as much as annoying as Makayev is, they kind of need him. They ditched a young undefeated prospect. Like, they kind of need him. All this stuff always works its way out, just like that rant I was doing earlier with, I mean, Dana White wants to say, oh, Arman Tsarukyan's back to the drawing board. Well, then who's next?
Yeah,
Because Islam either beat everybody or they're coming off a loss. There's not a single person in the top 15 that Islam has not beat or isn't coming off a loss. Not one. So who's next if it's not Arman?
Yeah, they did Gamrot dirty. He should have got. I mean, he was the backup. He should have got the title shot instead of Volk.
He's coming off a loss too.
I know, but I'm talking about like during the the last one for the second Volk fight. Wasn't.
Oh. Was it?
Yeah, I thought Gamrot was the backup.
If Gamrot was the backup, he was the backup for when they bring a backup in, it's literally for like that day. It's for what happened this past weekend. Because when Volk stepped up on short notice, it was like a week or two.
Yeah, but I thought like because it was originally supposed to be Charles versus Islam too, but I thought Gamrot weighed in as the back. He did his weigh in as the like.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When they weigh somebody in as a backup, that's only if there's an issue on fight night or weigh-in night, not before that.
I guess I know, and I know you said Islam destroyed Volk twice, but Volk was fat in that second fight, and he was day drinking.
Yeah, I mean, the second fight was a destruction. The first fight, I don't think I said he destroyed him in the first fight. I said
No, not the first fight. No, it was the second fight.
Yeah, the second fight. Yeah. Because the first fight was a war. Yeah. I thought he would destroy him in the first fight, and then he didn't. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. All right. My route about to be ready to get kicked off. Somebody's coming in.
There's a bunch of people in here, but feel free to call back in.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'll be here. I'll be here watching. I'll just be muted.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks.
See ya. I'm gonna skit you, bet. I'm just gonna go down the list. I'll come back to Sam in a second. Ryan, how you doing?
What
are you at work? Is this work?
I am at work.
All right.
Well, I just got off like 10 minutes ago. I'm just chilling in the office right now. But yeah. What's up, man?
How are you? What's going on?
Not too bad, bro. Not too bad, man. Just chilling. Just got off my shift. How about you?
I'm doing this with dry eyes. I was in Salt Lake City this week for work, and that'll just suck the life right out of you. So I'm dehydrated and my eyes are burning.
That's it, man. That's it.
Where are you calling from?
Connecticut.
Oh, where in Connecticut?
Fairfield.
Fairfield. Oh, shit. I'm from Connecticut. I'm from Newtown.
Newtown? Oh, shit. My sister lives up there. That's crazy.
All right, you're like covering the microphone or something.
Oh, my fault, fam. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, some of my best friends live in Fairfield, and I would take the train from Fairfield to the city for work.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up, man. Metro?
Yeah, and then we would eat at fucking what's that wing spot?
Shit. Archie Moore's, maybe?
Archie Moore's, right next to the train. Yeah, it's right next to the train station.
How about that, bro? That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right,
well, what's going on?
I want to read you my champions parlay, and I want to know what you think.
Okay.
It's a bit out there. A bit risky, but
what's a champions parlay? You mean for PFL?
2025. So the
oh, okay. All right, gotcha. All right.
I got Caio Baralho at middleweight. What do you think about
possible? That? It's possible. Not. It is only possible if Hamzat somehow doesn't get a title shot.
Honestly,
he's not beating Hamzat.
No I don't know about that, man. If he gets out of the first round, like Hamzat's kind of a first round merchant, don't you think? Like I honestly think Usman had a better argument of winning, or at the very least, it should have been a tie in that fight. And I get Usman's like the guy, but Caio's a dog, man. I think Caio can take him in a 5 round. I
like Caio Baralho a lot. I'm going to pull up his sure dog. Who did he just fight?
Cannonier, I think, right?
Yeah, and it was striking the whole time.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
He got cracked a few times, though, but that doesn't matter with Hamzat.
I mean, when you're only striking, he wanted to prove a point in that fight.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
If he wanted to just take Jared down, he definitely could have, but pieced him up on the feet, got the knockout. Actually, did he get the knockout? He should have gotten the knockout if not, but that was a good fight.
I just closed the window. He dropped him. All right, so Caio Baralho, which not a terrible pick, but I would have picked Hamzat. What else?
Fair enough. I think it was like minus 200. I can't go with the minus 200 for the parlay.
Yeah, you're the problem. You and people like you are the problem.
Yeah.
Because we need more. I need a 39 leg parlay that's plus 5,000, and then it misses. Angelo, what the fuck, bro? Dude, it was plus 5,000. Like, Jesus Christ.
Listen,
you are the problem.
75K sounds pretty good, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, yeah, that's that mindset. I mean, it's all good and fun, $5, whatever. That is how they make all. Do you know? Yeah. I'm gonna mess up the statistic, but it's like 80% of sportsbook revenue comes from long tail parlays. 80%.
That sounds about right.
No shit.
Back in the day, I would hammer those parlays a lot. Ever since I went to premium, I usually just tail all your guys' bets for the UFC. It's done me pretty well. So I've been just chilling with the straight bets whenever I bet big, but sometimes I'll drop a little something on something.
I mean, a
big.
couple bucks on something, All right, go ahead. What's the next one?
All right, I got Islam welterweight. You think that's still alive?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because it's not terrible because Bilal. First of all, they might take the belt from him, right? If he waits too long, whatever. And I think he beats Shavkat, but just in case he doesn't beat Shavkat, all of a sudden, then Islam will move up. So,
do you think Islam will fight Bilal? Like, aren't they kind of boys? Or...
No, they won't fight each other. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The only way that works is if Bilal loses the belt in some capacity, which is possible.
Agree. I think Shavkat will win that fight, and that'll be a good fight. Islam and Shavkat, I'd die to see that one. That'd be a good ass fight.
What's the next one?
All right, I got O'Malley at bantamweight. I think he comes back.
There goes your parlay. That guy fucking. Listen, there it goes.
That dude, man. He's gonna get a shot this year, no matter what.
Who can he beat?
I don't think he looked good in the Merab fight. He didn't look like himself. I could just be misjudging it. In a rematch, I think he finds a chance. He'll find a chin.
No, he can't beat Merab. He can't beat Usman. He probably can't beat Corey Sandhagen. He can't beat Figgy. So it's like, who's he gonna beat?
Listen,
I think Sean O'Malley. The funniest part at UFC 311 was Sean O'Malley wearing whatever fucking ridiculous outfit he was wearing, standing right behind the fighters as they were walking out, and nobody giving a shit. Nobody cared, and he's just standing there looking all stupid. Yeah, exactly. Nobody cared. That people are just done with Sean O'Malley. Like, we don't care. Like,
I don't think the UFC is, though. They like him. They think that he's their guy. He's their next.
Then they're not going to get him anywhere near a title shot with Merab or Umar or Figgy. Well, they're going to keep him far away from wrestlers.
Umar's probably going to be out for a little bit, though. With that, I don't know how long hand injuries usually take to heal, but I imagine
a while. Yeah,
he'll have a long layoff. I think he has a good chance against Sandhagen. It'll be a close fight for sure, but yeah, the Merab one would definitely be tough. But hey,
I think the Sandhagen fight's the only fight to make for Sean O'Malley right now. And if he wins, great. Like, then I'm the asshole, and but I think that's the only fight you can make right now.
I agree with that for sure. This next one's a little ballsy too. Because I think Ilya is going to go up to lightweight this year, vacate the featherweight belt. I did Diego Lopez featherweight. Do you think there's any chance there?
Diego Lopez featherweight's not awful at all. I think Islam smokes Ilya. But yeah, Diego featherweight is not awful. Diego, yeah. I mean, he's looked great.
I don't think he beats Ilya. I just think Ilya is going to move up, probably vacate, and that leaves an opening there. I don't know who else would take that featherweight belt that I'd be like confident in like that. So I went Diego there.
Yeah, is Mosvar featherweight?
He is, yeah. Oh, that's true too. That's true too. That would be a good fight though. That rematch, I really want to see that for a title fight. That would be fun.
The first fight wasn't even close.
Yeah, I know, but Diego's grown a lot since then, though. A lot.
Because he hasn't fought people trying to desperately take him down. But yes, I agree.
You're right. We'll see. I like his chances more. He'll do better than he did in the first fight, at least.
100%. Because that was short notice, and he literally was just held down the whole day. He had like a knee bar for half a second that went nowhere.
Yeah, I
forgot, or an arm bar, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 3 days short notice too. He was a plus 900 underdog.
That's right.
It was something nuts. It was like Hani Barcelos basically, but short notice.
And then last leg I have 2 variants. I did 2 variants with those first 4 guys. I have 2 flyweight picks, 1 Manel Cap and then 1 Tatsuro Taira.
I think those are both fair. I think Tatsuro Taira is overrated, but I think those are both possible for sure.
All right, word. So that's the $2 to 75K parlay. So when it hits, I'll call
$2
back
to
in, I'll
win
let you know.
75 grand. Is that what it is?
$2 to 75 grand. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, these long shot parlays are dumb as shit, but it's $2. Who cares?
Hey, not if
right?
it hits though.
That's
brother.
how they get you. It's $2. Who cares? That's how they
I'm gonna
get
put
you.
it framed on my wall, man. Framed on my wall when that shit slaps.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a long shot. Damn.
We'll
Well, good
see,
luck.
man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What else you got? Is that it?
I got one more for you. What should,
All right.
because this is my favorite fight camp. I think it's a lot of guys' favorite fight camps. Which of the fighting nerds do you think? Actually, we already talked about Kaio a little bit, but do you think Kaio is the best chance out of that?
Kyle's
crew
the
to
best one
take
of
the
that
belt?
camp. Yeah, the
Yeah.
other ones are too one-dimensional. And I don't mean that like because people are like, oh, Jean Silva, he's a great striker. I have no idea about the grappling. We just don't really know yet. Same with that other dude, kind of
Prates.
lost a little bit of stock. Prates looks great, but also we don't really know about the grappling yet.
Right.
Who's the other dude that lost some stock because he couldn't get the finish and was supposed to get the finish?
Well,
the wild one, Ruffy.
That was Ruffy,
Mauricio
but
Ruffy.
that one, I didn't expect him to get a fit. Honestly, he looked better than I thought he would because the other guy missed weight by 10 pounds or something like that. Like he was a big guy.
Yeah, and he was basically just a punching bag the whole time. But yeah.
True. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But hey, I think I want to see Prates fight Leon so bad. I'm kind of upset that fight wasn't made because that would lead him right into a title shot if he did win it. I think it's his most winnable fight at the top 5. But
That's where Jacob's great because obviously Leon was Jacob's underdog lock of the week twice, I believe, and Leon won both those fights. One by last minute fluke, and the other one he won the whole thing. And then when it was Leon versus what the hell's his name? Who the hell's the champ? Bilal, forgot his name. He was like Leon sucks and pressure's a problem and blah blah blah, and that is true.
Yeah.
So like Jacob having that like intimate knowledge of these fighters is very helpful because I do think Leon's going to be the type of guy, and I think Sean O'Malley will be as well. They worked their way up. They got the belt in spectacular fashion, and they're going to be hard pressed to find another win for a while. I think both of them are on a steep. I don't think it's like Robert Whittaker, right? Robert Whittaker lost the belt, and he's been mulling around the top 5 for years, beating everybody under him, having competitive matchups. I think both Leon and Sean O'Malley have a steep drop off, and I don't know if they'll be able to chill in the top 5.
Well, the thing with Sean, man, is like every fight he'll be in, he'll have a path to victory because he can knock out anybody. Like Leon doesn't really have that one-hit power. I mean, obviously he got that KO over Usman, but leaned into it, ended the fight.
Elevation.
Doesn't really hit guys like that. I don't know. I'm not giving up on O'Malley. I need to see one more fight. I really do, like that other guy said in the last game. I want to see the Jan rematch a lot. I hope it's a 5-rounder if they do ever do that again.
Yeah.
But that would be the real test, fighting someone like Piotr Jan again. I want to see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of fun matchups to make. I just don't know how Sean's going to come out on a lot of them. I think he loses most of these fights.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong, but we'll see. I don't hate that. I don't hate that take.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. We got like a whole bunch of people just staring at me, dead in the eyes. Crayons, I'm looking at you. Jesus Christ, get closer to that camera. So let me get some other people on here, but I appreciate you calling in for sure.
For sure. Appreciate you having me, Angela. I'll be ready with those bets. Get that website updated.
All right. See ya.
How's it going?
Bye. Sam, I know you want on. Give me a minute. We're going to go Crayons and Luke because they've been sitting here forever, and then Sam, and then Vicious, you're the newest one. Okay, that's the order here. We'll go Luke first. He joined first. What's up, Luke? How are you?
Hello, Angelo. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Where are you calling from?
Calling in from the betting capital of the world, Las Vegas.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, we got some we got some bets you guys don't have, but then on the flip side, you guys got those like opening odds and such that we don't get.
Yeah, because you can't use a lot of the apps are banned in Vegas, right? The casinos have too much power. Yeah.
Yeah, a ton of the online stuff is banned here.
Do you have DraftKings?
Yeah, I don't even think I think I tried signing up for it once. It wouldn't let me, but we get our odds for UFC fights like day of. Yeah,
that's the problem with the traditional sports books. Because, I mean, UFC is still nothing in the betting world. It's nothing. All the money comes from the other sports.
Yeah.
And, the casinos have sports books because they kind of need to, but they don't. They want you in there, in person, spending money elsewhere in the casino.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not going to make it easy for you to spend money on fights ahead of time online.
Yeah. I want to ask you what you thought. There was a moment in the Grant Dawson fight, this last card, and he was laying down some ground and pound, and they were landing, and then the ref, without warning, just jumps in and tells them to stand back up.
Sure.
Did you kind of get like a little, and it was what I'll be honest, I had a lot of bias, obviously, because I was on Grant Dawson's side, but right after he told them to stand up, Grant Dawson, it looked like he almost got knocked out. So I was just like, what is going on? Why are you telling him to get up when he's actually working?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I took that more as, obviously in that exact moment in time, it felt like a mistake. I took that more as he was warning him, like, work, let's go, work. And I think the ref probably had it made up in his mind, I'm going to stand these guys up. And he just decided to do it at a bad time. If he did it 10 seconds earlier, nobody would care, right? Like, all right, yeah, stood him up. Yeah, good. But because Grant decided to do some work right when he tried to stand him up, that's how I took it. I didn't take it as like, whoa, what the hell are we doing here? Because there was a ref, man, I don't know. It's been in the last 3 or 4 months. There was like one fight card where a ref literally was separating people like freaking crazy. Non-stop separate. It was one of the international cards. It might have been Paris, was separating them like crazy. So it wasn't quite that, but it definitely felt like, what are you doing, dude? This is the most boring guy in the roster, and he's actually doing something, and you stood him up.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about the separations. I'm still like a bit of a casual, I'd say, with the UFC. So I personally like when they get separated if literally nothing is happening. Like when you hear the crowd start booing and they're just clinched up, and it's just like the one name I can't I think it was Mario Batista against in his last fight.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like chain wrestling in a way, but it was more like chain clinch work because he wasn't getting the takedowns, and he wasn't even like throwing any knees or anything. So I was just like, where is the separation?
Yeah, so Joe Rogan is a purist. He is very much of the, nope, this is the fight. Let him. If he can't get up, that's his problem. But
sorry. I was gonna say add time to the fight, like in soccer, they'll add that extra time to the end of the match. Like,
no, it'll go on forever. No, I think the way you fix that is with the judging and the scoring criteria. Because we've starting to see more of that. Like Vegas tends to have the best judging, although we did see some phenomenal judging at UFC 311. The way you fix it is you don't score for control. Like it's nothing. You got a takedown. You did nothing with it. If the guy on bottom is busy and throwing elbows and doing stuff and you're just holding, I think the guy on bottom won. And if those decisions start to go that direction, then coaches and fighters will start to be like, I need to do more on top. Hey, you need to work on top. You're going to lose this round. You need to work. That is the only way you change it. But as long as judges see top as a dominant position, you will always get the Grant Dawsons of the world chilling on top. Always, forever.
Yeah. And then I want to ask you what you thought of this upcoming Jasmine Jasudavicius against Bueno Silva fight. It looks like on Tapology, they're pretty heavy on Jasmine. I did a little bit of research. I looked at her resume, and it's super impressive. But then Bueno Silva has she's like a submission artist from the looks of it. She just seems like she really knows how to find those submissions and finish fights.
It's interesting because I've broken that down twice, and I'm going to break it down a third time on Sunday. I am a big Jasmine fan, and we talked about it a little earlier when somebody else called in. If you've got some decent takedowns and you're tough, you can win a whole shitload of fights in these divisions. And I was like, I think Jasmine wins. I also don't know if she should be a 2.5 to 1 favorite, but I do think she wins because Mayra Bueno Silva fought for a title, was winning her last fight before she got cut. She did win the fight before that, but it was overturned because she had Ritalin, not even a performance-enhancing drug, just Ritalin in her system, or Adderall, one of those. I forget which one. So I was like, I'm picking Jasmine, but this is more competitive than people think. And then the overwhelming consensus from every single comment on those videos, that, commented on my breakdown for that fight was Jasmine wins. Silva has no cardio. Silva's a quitter. Jasmine, that was the overwhelming majority of people. I didn't see a single person that's like, I agree with you, Ange. This fight's kind of close. Not one. And now I'm more confident in Jasmine. And I don't know if I'm more confident in Jasmine because I'm looking at it more, or because I'm letting, literally every single person that has an opinion on that fight is like, Bueno Silva's a quitter. So that's, I might be a little swayed here.
Yeah, and also isn't Bueno Silva going back down to 125 because she's been doing her last few fights at 135, right?
Yeah, and that might hurt her, right? It could help her because she's big as shit and she's strong, but she could also slow down and it's a tough cut and all of that. So, there's a lot of random circumstances there, but the overwhelming community, and not just our community, but like MMA community opinion on that fight is that Bueno Silva's a quitter with no cardio and Jasmine runs through her. That's like the overwhelming opinion. So I hope that's true. I mean, I hope that's true. I love Jasmine. I mean, even right here, Jasmine's overrated. Or sorry, Bueno's overrated. Jasmine all day. Like it's every comment about that fight was that.
Hopefully I'll be able to trust you guys on that one because I really like Jasmine's resume. But how do you feel about the Israel Adesanya Imavov fight? Do you think he'll be able to find the KO, or do you think it'll maybe be a little bit closer?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get the knockout because Izzy, he does have some knockouts, but he's not necessarily the finisher that we all have it in our heads that he is. I do think I picked Izzy. I'm not betting on it. I'm not that confident. The reason I picked Izzy, though, is I mentioned it before. He looked really good in that fight against Dricus. Like, Dricus bullied him, ripped him to the ground, ended up submitting him. But when they were striking, Izzy looked real good. Like, he was working Dricus's body, just lighting his body up. He looked strong. He looked fat. Like, he looked good. And if this is going to be mostly striking, because Nasruddin doesn't necessarily go all in on the wrestling, if this is going to be mostly striking, I got to go with Izzy. But all you got to do is take him down. So for all we know, Nasruddin's going to come out looking like a Nurmagomedov, and it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen somebody, come out with a solid game plan, and then all of a sudden Izzy's going to look dumb. So I'm not betting on it, but I am going to pick Izzy, my last ride with him if he can't pull this off.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask you, I saw that opening odds had Alex Pereira at plus money. I saw some like varying numbers, like plus 130, plus 170, around that like range. Does that like kind of mind boggle you, or do you think once that's just because that's opening odds, and once it hits, William Hill or whatnot, it'll have him at like minus 350?
Yeah, I mean, I think the I'm looking on Bet Online right now to see what the odds are. I thought it was a little closer than that. I just think people are just giving the benefit of the doubt to the more proven guy. So I think, I think you're talking about the Izzy fight, right?
No, sorry, Alex Pereira against.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I think that's because the wrestling. I think people just think Ankalaev's going to wrestle and that's it. Because there can't be anybody who thinks that Ankalaev's going to outstrike Alex Pereira. We just saw Ankalaev like barely beat Rakic, and I'm not saying that fight was like razor thin, but like you should be running through people like Rakic. You should run right through him. Yuri Prohashka finished him. Alex Pereira would definitely finish Rakic, and Ankalaev's going to a boring pitter-patter decision with him. So if he doesn't wrestle Alex, he's going to have problems for sure.
Yeah. I just want to say, and I know this is probably a one-time thing, but I called the Raoni Barcelos underdog upset. Sorry, I got that at like plus 800, so that was a really nice hit. I watched your guys' analysis, and I think Artem's and you guys were just talking about how this guy is a 5-time Brazilian national wrestling champ, and then there's those holes in Peyton's ground game, and I saw on Tapology that Peyton at 98%. I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Everyone thinks, knockout artist, he's gonna get another KO. But to me, it was just like the Sean O'Malley Merab fight, where I was just like, there's one guy who has no takedown defense, and the other guy that's just relentless with takedowns. I just couldn't imagine Barcelos. And then to my shock, honestly, Barcelos, even though the power wasn't there, I thought he was winning those striking exchanges on the feet too.
Yeah, well, you can start to take over after you take somebody down a few times. They're so worried about that. You can start to look good in the striking. You know what? I'm annoyed at myself for that because I didn't take my own advice or listen to my own breakdown. Because if you listen to any breakdown I've ever done for Peyton, I talk about how talented he is and all those things. But then I say, if you watch his regional tape, he can get taken down and can get held down. He's undefeated, so he had a couple of fights where he was losing, and pulled it off late. But he was taken down and held down. And I'm also a huge Hani Barcelos guy. But I still, because of the people in here begging for long tail parlays, and after Islam got a new opponent, and after SD Dumas dropped, like all of these odds were a disaster. The odds were a disaster. So I slapped together 4 fighters, and the only leg that missed, and I never should have put him in the parlay because he was like minus 1,000, which I'm always say the odds are gone. There's no value there. But I was like, all right, it's a free leg basically. Honey is 40 years old, whatever. And it was the only mistake I made, and it cost me. Obviously, that was the difference between having a great night and a bad night. Was that dumb asshole not learning how to defend a takedown? It's crazy.
Yeah, but I've kind of noticed that like trend or pattern, and I think you guys kind of referenced it in some of your recent videos that the minus 1,000, minus 12.
No value there. There's no value.
They either don't find the finish or they get finished. Like Wang Kong got submitted, and then Hayoni just got that decision win. But I want to touch on Japanese fighters in the UFC because I love Japanese fighters. Like I love Tatsuro Taira. But they've been kind of killing us lately. So what are we ready to kind of give up, or do you think it's maybe just the stylistic matchups with the Brazilians that's kind of killing
I don't know what the hell that was with Rinya, because it's not like Rinya tried his best and lost. If he tried his best and lost, then we could have a meaningful conversation. That's not what happened. He didn't do his best thing. This guy, when I say world level wrestler, this guy traveled every corner of this planet and won every meaningful wrestling competition on this earth. And he didn't fucking do it at all in that fight. Not at all. Not one. He tried one takedown late in the second round after getting dropped 4 times. So it's like, for us to try to sit here and be like, oh, he's overrated. Who knows? He didn't fight the way he fought any of his other fights. Like, it made no sense, because somebody even commented earlier, how dare you bet on... Dude, how dare I bet on Rinya Nakamura, an undefeated guy with world-level wrestling, who hasn't lost a single minute in a fight, who was fighting a guy that was just taken down 3 times by a trash wrestler? Like, no, it was with the information we had, that was a great bet. But then when that fighter goes out there and doesn't use their best skill, just decides not to do it, it's crazy. Like if we watched Islam versus Hanato and Islam didn't shoot a single takedown, what the hell? What do you mean? What are you doing? Like, shoot a freaking tape. What are you doing? So it's like all we can do is watch the tape, do the research, understand the fighters the best we can, look at the matchups, and try to figure out what we think is going to happen and how it's going to go. But then you get some dumb asshole like Rinya Nakamura who's just not going to do what you expect him to do. Is crazy. And I'll double down on this. If you go back to the Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig fight, I said the whole week he's not going to wrestle. This is a perfect fight for him to strike only. I guarantee he strikes only. The only danger is on the ground, so he's not even going to bother doing that. There's no danger on the feet. He wants to prove to people he can strike. I can guarantee you he's going to strike. But I'll tell you, if he got dropped, he'll start wrestling real fast. And if Rinya Nakamura's game plan was the Bo Nickel game plan of like, let me strike, let me show these people I can strike, fine. But after he got dropped the first, second, third, and fourth time, maybe you should actually wrestle. The one time he ended up on top, he was beating on him. That was just so frustrating and annoying, because it's like there's nothing I can do about that.
I put 2 big X notes on Carol Rosa and Rinya Nakamura, because there's just no sense of urgency whatsoever. Like you lose the first 2 rounds, there's no sense of urgency. It's like I can never place any money on you guys ever again. I just can't trust.
All hammer, no nail. Yeah, they don't know what to do if they're backing up or if things aren't going their way. No, that was, listen, we're going to win some, we're going to lose some. That's why we love this sport, literally.
Yeah.
But when I get frustrated, like if I place a bet that loses, like if John Almeida lost, and for 30 seconds there, I was like, uh-oh. If John Almeida lost, it's like, okay, that sucks. It is what it is.
More of a fluke.
Not much to be frustrated at, other than like, all right. But the way Rinya lost, it's like you didn't even do your thing. If he tried to wrestle and you wrestled his ass off and it wasn't working, okay, I'm not as mad. But you're not even trying to, it doesn't even look like you're trying to win this fight. So yes, that's a problem. So for now, he's going to have to be a fade because we don't know what we're going to get next. Now, what in all likelihood we get is he's going to wrestle his ass off because he's coming off a loss and he's going to try to rebuild and do all that. But we'll see what happens.
I saw an unofficial fight for the London card that really caught my eye. It was I couldn't find it on Tapology, so that's why I say unofficial, but I saw it on like a post that Evloev is going to fight against Murphy. I think his name's Lerone Murphy, but I might.
Yeah, it's Lerone Murphy.
Yeah.
I did not see that matchup. That'd be a great matchup. I'm a big Evloev guy. I did just pick Lerone Murphy to beat was it Dan Ige? Is that who he just beat?
I think so, and he looked really good in that fight. He got really
dropped,
good.
I believe. He got dropped in the first round, I think, right? But then he looked good.
Yeah. I think that fight probably could be like just such a great like fight with him and Evloev because I think Murphy kind of showcased he's definitely like well rounded in that Dan Ige fight.
Yeah, I would still go Evloev there. He's just such a good wrestler. He can control where the fight goes. And anytime you get that, I'm always going to go with somebody who can hang on the feet if they need to, but can control where the fight's going to go. And that's exactly what Evloev is.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to touch on was the welterweight division. It was actually, like I said, I'm a casual. I'm still in the casual phase of the
There's
UFC.
literally no shame in that. People throw casual around as an insult, and that's baffling to me. That just means you like the sport we all like, but also have another life. Okay. Seems normal to me. I
was a pretty big hater on the welterweight division as a whole from what I had seen because they're just there's just a lot of dancing around and like I've seen like the Ian Gary Page
that guy's
fight.
So fucking boring to watch. Ian, I'm talking about Ian, yeah.
Yeah, and now I feel like with Joaquin Buckley in the division and Carlos Prates coming up, I'm like, oh my gosh, those are like two of my favorite welterweights. I think they could eventually be like champ and then number one. I wanted to hear your thought on that take.
Yeah, I mean, I think every division has its ebbs and flows. Because even light heavyweight, for years, it was like the king division, right? When you had, you're not going to get this because you're casual. When it was Randy Couture, and it was Chuck Liddell, and Tito Ortiz, and Vitor Belfort, and it was like, that was the division. For sure, the division. And now it's literally Alex Ankalaev and everybody else kind of sucks. So every division has its ebbs and flows, its ups and downs. Middleweight right now is one of the weakest, most pathetic divisions. Like, it's bad. Middleweight's bad right now. So, every division has ups and downs. I think welterweight is on the upswing again because of the introduction of a Prates. And yes, like you said, Buckley is in there. I just had the rankings up. You have Leon Edwards, who I said I think is going to be on a downslide. Shavkat Rakhmonov wasn't the greatest performance, but he did just win another fight to remain undefeated. Kamaru Usman, that guy's done. I don't know if he'll ever fight again. Jack Della Maddalena, somebody that could be something, right? His striking is very good. Sean Brady, he's back at it after losing to Bilal. Joaquin Buckley, we mentioned. Ian Gary, we'll see what adjustments he makes. I think Gilbert Burns is officially done. Kobe Covington's done. Jeff Neal's done. Wonder Boy's done. Michael Morales, what is he, 17-0 at this point? He's in that division. So, yeah, this division all of a sudden is welterweight division's an interesting division for sure.
Well, yeah, and I just want to say thank you guys for all that you do. It's really nice to have like the website, the app now. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep following, and I really like taking. I don't know what's gonna happen to Jacob's underdog lock of the week because that's kind of
he's never. Well, first of all, it's free. So when people get all twisted up about a free, insanely well edited video that a lot of time and effort and thought go into, but he's never lost a fifth one ever
Ever.
So we'll see what the
no, you're
bounce
right.
back
I
is.
love the videos, the editing, and then when I saw him say, because I had De Ritter, so that when I saw him say Holland, I was like, oh no, he's gonna lose another one.
Poor Kevin Holland too, because that dude killed all his. Because he went on that Jackson podcast and was like talking shit to Rampage. Rampage is like everybody's favorite fight. Like he just made an asshole out of himself that week. Like that guy really like didn't do himself and his aura any favors that week. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, well, Angelo, it was great talking to you.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
People probably waiting.
Sure, I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in.
Of course. Peace.
Bet Sam's begging. You're going to wait a second. Kranz, you're up next, and then Bet Sam. Yeah, you'll fucking deal with it. Before I throw you on Kranz real quick, we have this comment from Armchair May. Bro, Rochik was whooping Jiri's ass before gassing. What are you talking about? Yeah, no shit. And then what happened? He got knocked the fuck out. Got smoked. He got knocked out. He got finished. And that's the point I was making. The point I was making is that if Ankalaev can't finish the very finishable Rochik, then Ankalaev can't be that good. All right? That's what I was doing there. You bum bitch. Kranz, thanks for waiting. How you doing?
What's up, Angelo? Good, dude. How you doing? You got the mic all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you. Word. All the things.
Word. Sweet, dude. First time calling in. I just honestly had a chance to no kids, and the wife's not bothering me, so I thought I'd call in and say what's up. So,
isn't that the best? I just went on I have a real job too, right? Do this and I have a real job and I have to travel for my real job. And I was just in Salt Lake City for work. And I flew in on Monday. I was in my hotel room by like 4:30 and I'm getting text messages from all my coworkers. Hey, we're going to go to this bar. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. Come meet us. And I just kept sending back pictures of me under the covers watching TV. It's like, no, I'm not going fucking. You know how rare it is for me to just not be surrounded by the chaos that is my family? Like,
I know, dude.
I'm chilling in this room. And I didn't even, I usually do Uber Eats. I didn't even do Uber Eats because I have to put pants on to go downstairs for Uber Eats. I did room service and just had them leave it at the door. So, yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah, dude, pretty cool. Where's Jacob at? I'm sure you said it earlier, but
I think he's just chilling. The week offs, he just kind of chills. So I sent him a message. I was like, if you're around, and he sent me a text about something else. So I think he's just chilling.
Oh, I know he hates these things too. So I was like, oh damn, no Jacob.
I think it's a fake. I think it's a love-hate because he does. He's like your show, and he makes fun of these a lot. But I think he enjoys.
Yeah, right on, dude. That's cool. I didn't really have any like.
You sat here for fucking 45 minutes and had nothing to say.
Questions, but I mean, we'll talk about the fights. So I know the chat wants to talk about the fights.
No,
I
don't care. Whatever you want.
Aren't even the headliners. Like that Mike Davis dude. I think Mike Davis is going to be a good one. I'm pretty high on him.
He should win. That fight worries me. And here's the problem. Like you lose a couple of bets that you should have won, and then you second guess every decision you've ever made, right? And Mike Davis is in that category where I think he smokes Farasiam. Farasiam historically not a dangerous guy. Farasiam's not a guy that like outside of the Matt Frivola fight is just kind of dancing around trying not to get hit. And then all of a sudden he looked dangerous, and Mike Davis has had a ton of injuries. He fights once every year and a half. So that worries me a little bit, but I think Mike Davis should smoke this dude. He's good everywhere.
Man.
We've seen.
I'm like looking at these odds. I'm like, minus 151. I'm like, what am I missing?
It's tightening.
What am I?
He was
missing?
like minus 2 something last week. It's
tightening.
I
haven't checked the line movement tracker yet, but I'll take a look at that. But
yeah, it's tightening.
Yeah, and then we got Michael Venom Page and Shara is another one that I'm
great fight.
Only one that I'm kind of like, but great fight. Yeah, dude, you're right. That is a freaking awesome fight. Can't wait to see that. It should be a pretty entertaining one.
The Saudi Arabia, any card where the government pays for it is a good card. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, those cards are always good because I said it in my quick pick video. The government funds those. Like Saudi Arabia gave the UFC, I don't know, I'm making up a number, $20 million, right? 50, 100, I don't know. Gave them money and said, give us a fight card. And it needs to be good. Because remember last year, the first attempt at UFC Saudi Arabia got postponed because the card sucked so bad. And the government's like, we're not paying you for this trash. So they moved it to the Apex, and then they had to postpone it, and then they rebooked it with Robert Whitaker and Hamzat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the Saudi Arabia card. And then we got Oliveira. Oliveira is going to be a pretty good. I think honestly, I think he's going to take Nurmagomedov like to the cleaners. I just think he's going to find the shot.
You think
Catch him
so?
on his way in. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Nurmagomedov, dude, he just doesn't hit hard enough, dude. Have you seen? I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't hit hard, but
Yeah.
I just think that it's going to take more than that. And once Oliveira figures out, like, oh, that's it, that's your best shot, I think he's going to move in. He's going to move in after that, and then he's going to get pressure is going to be too much for him.
Yeah, well, and he doesn't have to, because, like, and he's talking about Saeed Nurmagomedov, in case you guys are wondering what the hell's going on.
Nurmagomedov and Vinicius Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, Vinicius is tough. We saw in his last fight, he's not afraid of the wrestling, and this Nurmagomedov doesn't wrestle, so that doesn't really matter. And that's a great. I mean, I picked Vinicius. I picked Vinicius.
Yeah, you did. I think that's probably my dog pick. And you know what? I always kind of look at things, and then I watch your quick pick videos, and I'm always just kind of gauging, like, all right, Angelo agrees. He sees what I see. Sometimes we're polar opposites.
Sure.
Like, oh no. But then I'll get Jacob on with me. I'm like, see, Jacob, which I was going to compliment Jacob, man. Damn, he's got some really, dude, you know what, Jacob, honestly, with the underdog lock of the week thing, is just, he's crazy with it. I know he's on a little bit of a skid, but dude, he was just getting wild for a while there. Like
I have the stats in front of me. Hold on. It's on the stats are on the website.
They gotta be good. I guarantee you, dude. You know what you should do? You should tell me the stats without Amanda Hebos. I guarantee you,
her 4 losses.
Yeah.
Last year he was up 13 units last year with just picking one underdog every week, up 13 units. One underdog. So keep in mind, an underdog means they're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
They're supposed to lose.
Vegas,
and he picks one every single week. Yeah. No, and he's had some 3-to-1s in there. What Jacob does well is, and now he's been doing this for a little while, so there is some bias in there. But what Jacob does well is he doesn't give a shit. He will just watch a fight with a clean slate, basically. You know what I mean? Like, watch the breakdown with a clean slate, look at 2 people and be like, this guy can win that fight. And without any of the preconceived notions of like, oh, but he's a former champ. Or he just looks at it objectively, like this person can win. And he's not afraid to go against it. Him and I both will break down fights and make our picks without looking at the odds. Then we look at the odds. So sometimes he'll go through a whole card and he'll send me a text like, I don't know who the lock's going to be. I picked all favorites. And other times he'll be like, could be one of these 5 people. Because he just picks the fight and then he looks.
There's all the favorites win. Like, what was the last? It was like all Dagestanians last year. Was it in Saudi Arabia? They cleaned the whole card. There's not one underdog won.
Oh yeah, because I got a gift under the Renat decision. It was UFC 308.
Yeah, it was 308. Yeah, that's right.
I'll never forget. He picked. I'm about to sneeze too. Hold on.
Let it rip.
Is it coming? Come on.
Go for it.
Come on.
Sam, you still waiting in line? Oh, Sam is waiting in line.
He'll deal with it. What the fuck's he got going on?
Sam, I'm getting more confident with Sam. I see him on his
first week was a fucking oof.
I mean, dude, hey, I gotta admit, I took a bath on the last one. I had a Dagestani parlay. I didn't have Murad. I had Umar.
Yeah,
and I had the safety parlay.
Fucking Rinya.
Dude,
and I'm so glad I didn't double down on Rinya because I was so confident. Those were quite literally my 2 most confident. What I do with the safety parlay is I literally try to say what are the 2 most confident bets I have here, or what's and obviously if it's minus 1,000, it's like all right, can't do that. Yeah. But I look at it and say what's it, and I looked at that and I said Jalton Almeida and Rinya Nakamura are my 2 most confident. And you know what's brutal about that?
Dude, too.
I love that guy. What's brutal about that is I went 10-3 on picks. I had great picks on that card. But fucking Rinya Nakamura, Peyton Talbot.
I saw the first round. Dude, Peyton Talbot too, dude. I was like, I'm one of those people where if I make like a wild parlay, I throw the minus 1,500s in there too. But yeah, Peyton Talbot lost, and I'm just like, dude, holy shit. I'm freaking... Yeah, brutal. I can't. I have a hard enough time betting on the prospect guys at minus 1,500 because I mean everybody looks like, what have you done to be minus 1,500? Like,
no, I know
this is fucking wild. I was like, I almost sprinkled the other side, but I was just like, all right. Peyton's
I
a
mean,
kid, old man.
hindsight's
You put the two
20/20,
together.
obviously, but yeah, exactly. When you're looking at it that week, and the whole world is saying this guy smokes, this guy wins.
Yeah.
You know, it
Oh,
seems
yeah.
like a different world, doesn't it? So,
Yeah, I'm still gaining confidence, and I know your girl Jasmine's fighting next week, so
I talked about it before. She's somebody that I said I think she wins, but Mayra Bueno Silva's no joke. And the overwhelming feedback was Mayra Bueno Silva's a quitter with no cardio, and Jasmine
yes, she
smokes her.
is. Yes, she is. That's why
That's how everybody feels,
I'm getting
apparently.
more confident with it. I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. She does quit, Myra. But other than that, I don't know. This card's just kind of a pretty decent fight night card. I mean, we've been getting decent fight night cards lately.
So far,
It's been great.
2025 has been solid. You could
Yeah.
argue the worst card of the year so far is going to be UFC 312.
312,
But
yeah.
that is getting some hate because 3 of the 5 fights on the main card are absolute dog shit. Like, dude, Jimmy Crute on a main card in
Yeah.
2025 is a fucking joke. So is there's somebody else on that main card that's a fucking joke. But the co-main and the main alone are worth the price of entry. So, you know, it's not a deep card, but it's top. I love that main event. I love that co-main event. So it is what it is. Like, it's, you know, if we had a shit main event and the rest sucked, then it's like, yes. But, you know, people are hating on it because of everything under the top 2 fights, which I get. We're spoiled as UFC fans. We're used to stacked cards, not like boxing where you get one fight and then a bunch of nobodies.
Yep. I don't know if I'm going to put any money on Izzy. Still warming
I
up
wouldn't.
to it.
I
haven't
would
bet
not.
on Izzy since the Sean Strickland thing. Like when he fought Dreykus, I was like, might put some money on Dreykus. And then as I'm about to do it, I'm like, dude, if Izzy wins, I'm gonna be so mad at myself for betting against him. I'm a big Izzy fan. Dominated the division for years, and I just can't tell if he's gonna be on this skid now. You know how it goes. You go. From
it's
here
a
to
steep
here.
fall. It's a steep
all the
fall.
way
It's
down.
very hard to rebound.
And I just am like, okay, did we like grab a hold of the ledge here and we're gonna crawl back up, or are we still falling? And I'm just like,
yeah, I wouldn't. I picked him. Picks and bets are not the same thing. I would not bet on him, but
I'm picking
for
him
sure.
too. I don't know where Imavov is really at with the rankings, but I know Izzy's number 3 and he's lost to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, tough. I'm sure I will probably put a sprinkle on him by the time it gets to fight night, but
I'm gonna try to avoid it.
Real. Yeah.
I don't trust it enough. I think I'm gonna avoid it. Maybe the over. We'll see what the round line's at. Maybe I'll do the over because I don't think there's gonna be a finish there. But I'm gonna try to avoid that.
Yeah, man. That's probably the 1-800 gambling fight for me is don't bet on Izzy.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
For sure.
Hell yeah, man. Well, shoot. I think I don't want to take up too much time. I know I'm starting to hear some rustling around.
Sam's over
upstairs.
here stretching. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing what Sam's doing.
Did you get a duck yet this year?
Nope.
I know you're a big duck hunter. Or
I'm a bird watcher because I haven't. I'm trying to shoot a duck. Yeah. Haven't gotten a duck. I just went out last week.
We get ducks quite a bit here. There's the.
Where are you?
I'm in South Dakota. People
South
actually
Dakota,
live in South Dakota. Actually, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't put that on YouTube because I actually don't know how YouTube feels about that. YouTube, those are plastic toys.
Oh, I mean, I throw them in the vlogs. It doesn't seem to matter.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's my case.
Oh, and there's plenty of hunting channels and stuff. So, the GUNs. I gotcha. I showed mine on there, but yeah, I mean, who knows? It's odd. I think it's all context related, but yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I like pheasant hunting the most. I know you're a big
I've never done that.
shooter.
I would love that. I would do any bird hunting for any bird.
South Dakota is the pheasant capital of the world. So.
Oh really?
We got plenty of pheasants here. I love hunting them. Tastes great. Basically, it's a wild chicken running around.
Yeah.
So, it's white meat. They're great. I like it. But
that's
cool. Yeah, we got the hunting thing in common.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a shot. Out here, I'd probably have to use an outfitter to go pheasant or quail or any of those birds, field birds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, dude. I'll try and call in some other time.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be here next week, but we're going to try to do most Thursdays. So thank you again.
All right, dude. Good luck on the bets.
All right, you too. See ya.
Later.
All right. We got this absolute bum. What's up, Sam?
Hey, Angelo. It's been too long, brother. You know, it's actually been a long time since I made it into a call-in show. So that's
And
sweet.
we also haven't had one in a while either. It's just been crazy.
For sure. Couple of things I wanted to say. First off, to all of the viewers, right? I just want to say a little quote here, and that is that the poor people work for money, and rich people make their money work for them. So become a premium member today and make your money work for you. Listen. You say
I thought you were calling them poor for the people that don't have the app because they have an Android. I thought that's
no. I was going to say. You say it yourself. You've got the safety parlay is the beacon of stability. Last year you hit phenomenal accuracy rates, especially on pay-per-views, as you always dictate. Now you've got my slam of the week on there, my picks. You have Jacob, one of the best underdog pickers that is out there. I mean, really, for $10 a month, it is the unbelievable burden of value. The Costco model, as you say.
It is the Costco model. The crazy thing is, and this isn't even like a sales pitch, I'm not a big fan of that UFC tracker. I'm not. The pick tracker thing. I'm not a fan of it.
You just talked about exactly the reason that it doesn't work. Is you went 10 for 3, I went 8 and 6, and I profited because it's about where you put your money. It doesn't matter who you say. If you're asking me who fights, but I only bet on 2 fighters, fuck, does it matter the other 12 fights?
I agree. So. And there's flaws in the math and the tracking and all of that, because then there's just some random equation that says this pick equals this much money, so I'm not a big fan of that. But if you are a fan of that, and there are people that care, you're in the top 10 every week. Top 5, whatever the fuck. I'm up there every single week.
Not the first week of this year.
Jacob's up there every single week. Artem's up there so we've got 4 of some of the top people, just straight picks in this space, period, end of story, all under one umbrella, which is honestly kind of crazy. Again, I'm not a fan of that tracking. I think it's stupid. I think tracking, and I get a lot of flack for this from some certain people. Like, listen, we did not invent this space. There were people long before us. Fight Night Picks. Fight Night Picks is who inspired me to do this. I consumed their content years ago, and I was like, we could do that. And we started doing that. And we did it differently because Jacob and I are friends in real life. So we have real life chemistry. We're also both intelligent people. Like, in real life, we are smart people that have good jobs and understand how to read a room, understand how to run a business, understand speaking cadences, all the things that come with life. So it was just a perfect recipe for success. So obviously we grew, and now we're quite large, and we sell a $10 service. I refuse to raise it at all. It's going to stay $10 forever. It has remained 10 despite our costs going up. We've kept it at $10, and we continue to add things. We have a huge thing we're about to announce in, I don't know, a week, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. And where I'm going with all of this is a crazy volatile space. So what I'm trying to build is the most amount of value. There's a wide net. If you want fantasy stuff, there's fantasy. You want picks, there's picks. There's bets, there's bets. If you just want to do research, here, do your research. Here's a tool that basically will do it for you. And even with all of that, I could hit 9 of 10 bets. I miss one, and somebody's like, And people, where I will get some flack, are people like, I want stats. Give me all the data of every bet you've ever placed. And I'm not that guy. And I'm not that guy for a reason. First of all, this is a what have you done for me lately sport. People, and obviously it's not, you can't lose 38 weeks in a row, win 1 week, and then pretend you're a genius. That doesn't work. There's a medium. If you do like a rolling 10,
you heard of Matty Betts? That's his entire model.
But Matty Bet, and I like Matty Betts, like in real life. We've had some conversations. So I like Matty Betts. Matty Betts is a long shot kind of guy. It's different. Yeah. It is a different model because he's not breaking down every card, every fight on every card, picking 10 spots. He's throwing 20 grand on something fucking crazy and then seeing what happens. And he's perfectly happy, nobody's happy losing, but he understands I'm doing long shots. That's what's going to happen. But where I get annoyed is like this week, for example. So for the first week, I do a recap from Las Vegas in a hotel room, sitting at a table. I want to see, where's the data? It's like, dude, shut the fuck. I am in Las Vegas, right? Shut the fuck up. There's nothing on this screen. I'm not going to spend 45 minutes. You're lucky you got this video. I'm not going to spend 45 minutes building out the slides and all of that after, like, no, not happening. Like, I'm here on a laptop looking at a camera, filming this for you at God knows what time. And then last week, I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning filming the recap. Where's Jacob's bet? I want to see those stats. So I'm not a big stat guy because I will use the stats to reiterate and nail home the point. And here you go, fucking bang, to do this, to say, here is your window. If I'm looking at the last 12 events, which is a pretty large window, and I hit 10 of 12, that's pretty spectacular. So this is where I'll use the stats and the data. But people who want to see every little micro bet for, oh, well, this guy's gone. Fucking loser. Every little micro bet for 20 years, that serves no purpose whatsoever. So I'm not a fan of that whole tracking thing. I like the week-to-week aspect, and you can notice trends like, hey, these people are in the top 10 every week. Like maybe, ebbs and flows, not perfect, but every week picking consistently. So there's my rant.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm pretty much about like the only bets that I track, the two that I track out, my slam of the week and my underdog opportunity, and that's more for my own like accuracy rather than the numbers that it's putting out as well. It's like how am I trending as far as like the percentage of hitting these rather than the numbers that's returning back. Where am I going wrong? And then if I can actually like target and find like, is it when I'm picking strikers at heavyweight against wrestlers or whatever, so it's more for like a personal checking list for myself rather than as something to give out to the viewers. But
and I mean, listen, data matters, stats matter for exactly that. Like Jacob looked at, what's funny is Jacob last year had a phenomenal year except for prop bets. He did very poorly last year with prop bets, but overall he had a phenomenal year. And then if you narrow it down to say, where did you lose more often than you won? It was prop bets. So the other bets were the little short 2-leg parlays and the money lines were so good that the bad prop bets didn't matter. So he looks at it and is like, okay, I need to make adjustments. Last year was one of Jacob's best year ever. And that's because he looked at the year before that, 2023, and was like, I got to dial it in here. I got to dial it in there. So, I mean, the stats and the data is important for that aspect. But I think everything is with a grain of salt.
I think as well, talking about prop bets as well, and you had that guy on there that was trying to make the chat lose money by tailing his 6,000 to 1 parlay for champions, whatever. But when you're gonna bet props, right? I'm personally, I like betting props. Like I've hit some phenomenal prop bets and stuff like that as well. I primarily try to use up bonus cash that I'll ever get because my sportsbook will offer. Let's say I have a 3-leg parlay.
You got to bet it 10 times,
and I get a 3-leg parlay, and then one leg fails. You have like little things you can use, and I'll get my money back in bonus cash. So what I'll do with my bonus cash is I'll just use that for prop money because you're not getting the bonus cash back anyway. So there's no point bidding it on a 1.4 return. Otherwise, it's a 0.4 return. So I would say to people, if you're gonna hunt prop bets, just sprinkle your things, and don't load up on if you don't believe yourself that it's going to hit, the fighter is definitely not going to make it happen for you. The universe isn't looking to bless anybody on a 10-leg fucking parlay. That is the truth of it, And as well, Angelo even said to me, starting off this year, I got a little bit overzealous on the prospect Austin Bashi. And he said, there's no need for you to be that exposed on one fighter.
One fighter should never make or break your slate. Now, as the night goes on, you could end up in a situation where you need one fighter to turn the night. But you should never go into a night where it's like, if this one guy loses, I'm completely fucked. That should never be how a night starts, ever.
That's right, and I applied the exact same knowledge. The following card served me well. I hit most of my bets. And even though there were so many undefeated prospects that fell out, it didn't burn me because I wasn't relying on Umar Nurmagomedov. I wasn't relying on Peyton Talbot. I did get burned. I was set to make this is on my personal account as well, not a premium bet. I was set to make around an 18-unit parlay that was only a 4-leg, and it had Rinya Nakamura, and he was my most safe pick. And I was screaming at my fucking television with my friend sitting next to me. I was like, shoot a fucking takedown. Shoot a takedown. Like, try. Because he didn't even test the waters. And then there was one grappling exchange in the third. And you saw his scrambles and everything were much better. And like
He ended
even
up on
just with that
top, and he
one
was like
fight,
raining down elbows, and it's like,
I was
where was
like,
that?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Come on, and it does always make me think either this guy's a fucking moron, right? Which is very possible. Fighters aren't known to be, the mathematicians of the world, or it does make me start to believe in spot fixing, right? Which I'm not saying that is what happened, but it always creeps into my mind.
I saw people saying that Rinya fixed his fight. I don't think that was the case, because he was getting dropped.
Fight IQ issue.
He's getting dropped like crazy. If he fixed it, he would have just. And one of those drops, he could have just shelled up and let the ref stop it, right?
He's tough.
He's
tough to tell. Yeah.
If anybody, and I'm not saying this is the case, the one that looked the most ridiculous was Peyton Talbot, because that wasn't even guy can't defend a takedown. He was then doing insane shit and was defending it by turning his back, and like he was in a dominant position. He was on top, raining down, and then just got swept.
Oh, when he hit that reversal,
it's like, dude, what the fuck? Huh? Yeah, so there were flashes of talent, and then also a bunch of bullshit. So the point where I actually am not a conspiracy guy. I don't think, I don't think there's
like, it just does creep in, like the little thought, the little.
That's the only one I would entertain on that card is Peyton, because he was such a huge favorite, and he looked so clueless. Not a little clueless, wasn't outworked. Umar got outworked. He was just clueless, and it's like, dude, that's tricky.
Also, guys, like with Rinya, I do want to jump in here before I forget. Do not just fade him, because the dude is still a fucking animal. And if you go, oh, Rinya sucks, and then you bet against him next time, he's probably going to turn up fucking 10-8 the dude in the first round with like 3 takedowns.
No, the next fight he's probably
fade him.
In all likelihood, the next fight he's going to wrestle his ass off because he's trying to get a win back. And that's what you want him to do. Yeah, I mean, it's all matchups. And that's why when people mad at the ring, and what's funny is, when we have winning weeks, we have winning weeks. We have losing weeks, we have losing weeks. We win far more than we lose, so that's a good thing. But when you do have a losing week, everybody wants to place blame on somebody. And what was funny this week is most people place blame on Rinya and not me. Meaning most people weren't like, Angelo, you fucking idiot. It was mostly like, Rinya, Jesus. I didn't see anybody picking the other side. Nobody picking the other side of that fight. And when somebody goes out there and loses without using their most dominant skill set, the only person we can be mad at is that person. Now, if he went out there and he tried to wrestle and win stuffing takedowns and making them look stupid, then Rinya was overrated the whole time, and shame on us for not seeing that. But he doesn't even try to fight the way he's supposed to fight, then we're not the idiots. That's on him.
For sure.
And that seems to be the consensus.
It's hard to let it go as well because, for example, first week I bet on Austin Bashi. I was overwhelmingly confident, and I was
He at least tried. Right? Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I'm not mad at Austin Bashi. I'm not going to like he tried. He was just not the better man on the night. Fuck, it is what it is. He was trying his ass off. Rinya Nakamura, I'm like, man, fuck you.
He didn't even try.
Fuck you,
Rinya Nakamura. Yeah, he didn't even try. No,
I got a little something for Jacob as well. A little, I hope he returns soon. So this is a t-shirt I got made for him here. This is, I don't tell me if you can see this or not, but we got a little t-shirt made here for Jacob.
It's his head. What's on the side? Is that a Wookiee? What is that?
It's lock of the week. It's got Kevin Holland getting choked out by.
That was Kevin Holland on that side. How did you make this shirt so fast?
Oh, I paid express delivery for a shirt service around there. I got this shirt made.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm dedicated to the sport, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
I did want to ask your permission as well. This is not for a sale. Can I make a personal shirt with the We Want Picks logo and my name Betsam on it to wear around for UFC 312?
Yeah,
because I'm going to live.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Unless your bets suck, and then fucking take that shirt off.
It just burned me off. Who the fuck was that guy? First off, I'm suing his ass, taking out fucking logo. I never said yes to this.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're good. I can email you a clean PNG logo.
For sure. That sounds awesome. The reason I did want to jump on quick is I do have work. So I'm going to run away now. Thank you for letting me on. I do hope that you guys do the call-in show the following Thursday.
Next week I'm out of town, so it's not happening next week. The week after, we'll get back into the cadence. Yeah. We'll get back into the cadence.
Also, to everybody as well that is, saying, where's Jacob gone? All the rest of it. His videos are literally the number one piece of content in the space. It isn't the number two, number three.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It is the most exciting thing. I started my channel because I was watching the lock of the week and I was watching the We Want Picks channel. It was the direct reason why I was sitting there after I had a clean sweep on the Paris card over a year ago now. And then I was sitting there, started watching the videos, and I was like, these guys are entertaining. I could do this. And that's why I started making videos.
Yeah, you can't. The problem is you're not as good at it.
Way harder than it looks, that's for sure. Because I made the assumption that I'm a funny guy in real life. It'll be funny on camera. Then you get there and you're like, well, there's nobody else fucking talking to me. So where's the humor coming in? And you have to generate that as well, which is great that you have Jacob to bounce off between as well. But
Jacob, even what Jacob does on Saturday, I could do these call-in shows because you people are calling. So I have somebody to talk to. What Jacob does on Saturday, talking to nobody for 7 hours, crazy. I would get sucked into the fights or just be saying God knows what. So like that skill set to do that for 7-8 hours, it takes a mental toll on you to sit there for that long, deal with whatever's coming back, and I could never do that. That is crazy. What I can do is yell at people, call people idiots, stuff like that. I can do that for 8 hours, no problem. But to watch the fights,
that's just day-to-day life ranch,
Yeah, that basically is it. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, well, get back to work.
I'll let you get to it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, Ange.
All right, see ya. Aaron, you've been here for a while. What's going on?
What's up, Angelo? How are you?
Good. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Bumblefuck, Nevada. I'm out on a work trip, but I'm from Tampa, so.
Oh, all right. That's a hotel room?
Yeah, it's a terrible hotel room.
A motel.
But the Wi-Fi works, so.
Yeah, there you go.
It's in there.
What's going on?
I have a question for you here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? So, all right. So obviously I'm a premium member. What are your thoughts on having, because during the week I'll watch and listen in on, the John McCarthy and Josh Thompson. They've got their weigh-in podcast.
Yeah.
Dan Hardy does his breakdowns, but he gets really in depth into them. And then Luke Thomas I'll occasionally tune into, but I'll just have podcasts on at work. But and then obviously we'll come in and listen to your podcast or your call-in shows and then your breakdowns and whatnot. What is your thoughts on like having that much amount of information? Do you think it's better or is it like worse because then you're like hearing multiple different views?
It can be worse. It definitely can be worse because that's what used to happen to me. I used to listen to multiple. The first one I heard is when I would be like, okay, I'm here. And then I would hear 5 more. And then it'd be all over the place. And then you convince yourself of different narratives. So it really depends on who you are and how influenced you are. If you're just listening because you want something in the background or whatever. And, like that variety, I would say us, because I think we're good. The Weighing In podcast, I like Josh. Josh and I know each other in real life. Our kids went to school together. We hang out. That show is a great compliment to this show because you get different insight there, and it's less about a very specific pick or bet and more about just a casual, not casual necessarily, but a breakdown of the fight, like insight into this and that, and this person could do this, and not as detailed as we'll do, but from a world champion's perspective and a guy who helped basically build the sport and turn it into something. But what I wouldn't do is watch. So like us and them would complement each other. I like Luke Thomas actually, but not for his fight predictions, more for I like his opinions on random topics because he's a really well-educated guy. But listening to 10 breakdown shows with Tapology on in the background, 90% of them are just reading what's on the screen, just trying to regurgitate some bullshit that probably came from me because I'm the first video in this space, just to crank out some content. That stuff, that's when you really just start to get brainwashed and get random shit in your head and hear the same thing over and over and over. So I would find your spots, whatever you like the most, whether it's because it's entertaining or whatever, and just have a few that accent each other and not listen to 9 different shows that do the exact same breakdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Dan Hardy gets into his war rooms, I don't know if you've listened to him when he does those, but he'll go down in depth into how both fighters could and should, and even hypothetical wins. And I think it at the end, I think his ultimate goal at the end of like those breakdowns is to make you like question. This is like he tries to break it down almost to the point where it's going to be like a coin flip kind of fight. When like
and if you ever look at those, like they have those people track picks and stuff like that. You know, fighters are terrible at picking fights. Terrible at it. Like god awful at it. Like the bottom of the trackers every week are professional fighters that have YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like more like active fighters or recently active fighters. And that's because there's inherent biases. You trained with this guy, you trained with that guy. Like, you know, there's those biases.
Yeah.
And they look at it, to your point, too granular. And like sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. And it's like, he's got really good this, and this. When it's like, no, man, just zoom out. Islam's going to take his ass down and just maul him. Like, that's it. Zoom out. Like, that's it. I don't care how good Moicano is at any of this shit. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get mauled, and that's the end of it. So, like, sometimes fighters are way too close to it to actually be able to break it down for you logically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple you can just clearly tell they're just in it for, like, the stake money. It's just a
well, yeah. Well, and we're in an interesting situation because obviously, you know, what keeps the lights on here is the premium memberships. But if we suck, and if premium has nothing to offer and the tools suck, then that's not good. So like it is very much in our best interest to be as good as humanly possible. Where if we did just have a random sportsbook sponsor, who cares? We're just pushing the sportsbook sponsor. Who gives a shit about anything else? So we kind of have to be good and offer a great service. Otherwise we're screwed basically.
Yeah. So I was watching your last vlog on the last pay-per-view, and I noticed you weren't playing during the card. You were just watching it, enjoying it.
I don't live bet.
You're not a live better?
I'm not. And not that I don't have any. I don't have any issue with it, but I definitely. You have to. Have you ever live bet?
I've 50-50. There's just. I think it's burned me more than it's helped me, honestly. And I think it doesn't help me enjoy the fight card as much.
Because it's a panic. It is a 30-second panic to get it in, right? Because they lock it fast. It's only in between rounds. Like it's a panic. That's why I don't do it. Jacob does it on stream, but Jacob is in front of his computer with everything he needs right in front of him. So for me to do it would mean like I'm already not paying attention to the people in the room and then not paying attention to this and I'm too focused on, you know, it would, at the end of the day, I'm a massive fight fan, tremendous fight fan at the expense of other sports. You know how pathetic I look when I meet other dads and shit and like, oh, how about the playoffs this weekend? And I got nothing to offer because I don't know dick about football because 99% of my sports knowledge goes into this one sport. So I'm a massive fight fan, and live betting in my like media room with people over would just suck. Whatever fun I get out of it, it would suck out of it. I'm not against live betting. I just don't do it because I literally want to enjoy the fights.
Yeah, it just seems like you enjoyed them more than sitting there with your phone and, you know, trying to get in your over under before the fight starts. And I've found myself in the last couple of fight cards, especially I've gotten a couple of people over. Sometimes my wife will actually sit down and watch with me, and if I'm sitting there on my phone trying to. Or it gets to the point where, you know, you might be down a little bit and you get that little nervous twitch to it, and then you start firing off bad picks, and you just see like, oh, this has got to hit, and then you're down like another 100 or another unit or two. But like I'm moving forward, I'm going to probably not do that. There was one. I was at the Talbot fight when after the first round, Honey was
dude.
He was still like a plus 600. Even after like the mauling after the first round, but I was like, he can't stop takedowns. If he can just keep this up, so I just threw 10 on it. But I don't know, that was like my last one that I think I'm going to go through. But if something really doesn't stick out, I'd feel I want to enjoy it. You know, and get back to just sit there and enjoying fights.
It is a fine balance, like because I do think betting on fights can make them more enjoyable. It could also make them a miserable nightmare. Not live betting ahead of time. Could make them miserable if they're not going your way. Dude, I had highs and lows, and you could probably see it in my energy in the UFC 311 vlog. When Rinya lost, I was in a mood. I was in a straight up mood. And then I have this fucking asshole, this loser bitch, and then my other neighbor trolling me in text messages, and I'm in a fucking mood because Rinya just lost like an asshole. So like I was like literally in a terrible mood. But then all of a sudden, all the other bets were hitting. Like we saw Azamat Bakoyev smoked that jiu-jitsu nerd. Then Aylin Perez won. I'm like, all right, we're good. So I was like back on the upswing. I'm in a great mood. Like, all right, we're good. So there are some highs and lows. What I would say to you, do you ever play DraftKings Fantasy?
No, I don't.
DraftKings Fantasy adds a lot of excitement to watching the fights because you know how it works.
I haven't touched into it at all. No.
Yeah, so the way DraftKings Fantasy works is you have a budget of fake money. It's like fantasy football of $50,000, 50, and you have to draft 6 fighters with that $50,000. So you need some underdogs, some favorites, and you try to draft the best lineup possible. Then you take that lineup and you can compete against other people, and you could compete against other people for thousands of dollars or for 25 cents. And I found that doing DraftKings Fantasy lineups and playing DraftKings Fantasy while watching fights makes it so enjoyable because you have 6 fighters. So you're rooting, and during 6 fights, you care very much about the outcome. But you could play for a couple of bucks, literally 25 cents, and it's your lineup for somebody else. You could enter what they call 50-50s, where let's say there's 100 people in there. You just need to be better than half. Just be top 50, and you'll make some money. So it's a lot of fun, and you enjoy it. It's less devastating than a bet because a couple of guys can lose, and you could still be better than half the people. So I would recommend playing around with some DraftKings Fantasy. It's a fun hybrid of like you can make $1 or $2, but you really spruces up what you're watching with the fights, and you have your lineup going. And you can't adjust it during the fights. So you set it, and then from that point, you're just watching and enjoying.
I don't know if that's available in Florida, but it
is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I lived in the first time I ever played DraftKings Fantasy was in Florida. Yeah, you don't seem too fucking excited about it. Sorry for the advice.
Hey, I like just playing money. That's on it, but I know it's on there on the premium side, so I haven't done a ton of looking around the site on it, just mainly going there for your picks, and appreciate that insight. But with moving on to another question, what's your 3 biggest traits per se when you pick a fighter? So like
I'm tall, I'm handsome, and I'm hilarious.
I don't think any of those are true, but I keep going.
2 of the 3 are true.
So like mine are like age. I always look at age discrepancies. That's probably the biggest one that's going to dictate winning percentages on fighters, and then current streaks and style. So if I see that, it's a wrestler versus stand-up, 9 times out of 10 I go with wrestlers. It's a more path to victory type of thing. And then like current streaks, if they're on a heater, they're on a good rhythm. Like last year, Pereira was fighting 3 times or 4 times last year, like every 3 months, wasn't taking a ton of damage on him. But like I have a harder time, or I get hesitant when fighters are popping in every 16 months,
layoffs certainly matter. I would say styles obviously matter. Obviously, if you can't defend takedowns, you're fighting a wrestler or vice versa. So style for sure matters. I think streak matters, but not that much. Like streak matters in that, gives fighters some confidence, right? And then if they have confidence, but at the same time, we've seen many streaks come to an end and many, so I would say instead of streaks, I would just ask myself this fundamental question: is this fighter a pussy? And if the answer is no, that's great. But there are some fighters that are all hammer and no nail. If they are winning the fight, they will win the fight. But if it gets a little tough, they quit, they're done. And I think that, quite frankly, is one of the most important traits. The reason Jacob is so good at picking underdogs is that's like the first question he asks himself. Like, all right, this person's pretty good, and they're not a quitter. Like, this person will fight for your money. An absolute dog will never quit. And I think that's huge. Merab is a great example. Merab was not the better, and his was cardio, obviously, but he was not the better fighter. Just watch rounds 1 and rounds 2. He's not the better fighter, but he's not a quitter. He's in great shape, and he's just going to dog his way through that whole thing. And he did. So I think I look very much at, obviously, style, But then is that person going to fight for my money? And if so, great.
Yeah. How much of it, at least on your personal picks, do you have like that gut instinct kind of feel? So like me personally, you know, the line closed with like Jamal Hill and Prochazka at like basically a pick 'em, but just having that like internal, I don't know, kind of gut feeling was like the only person in the UFC, you know, Yuri's lost to was Pereira.
Yeah.
And Hill, you know, just they both coming off knockout. So that kind of like, you know, equaled each other out. But I don't know, just kind of, he had that whole good juju kind of vibe thing all week. And he had the cancer person in there. And just, you know, Yuri's always out there to swing hammers. It just, I don't know, it just felt bright. You know what I'm saying? You have those like moments where you're like,
you definitely got to trust your gut. And I do quite a bit of that. And even if I don't trust it enough to bet, I will trust my gut to not bet. Meaning if I'm looking at a fight and the odds are saying something and I'm like, I don't know why, I just don't feel it, I'll avoid it. The Aylin Perez bet was a great example where I looked at it and I was like, these odds are nuts. Like my gut reaction was like, these odds are crazy. Like Aylin should win this fight. And so I bet on her. But then what happened, so the difference between me and you is when you asked earlier, you watched 3 or 4 different shows. You're hearing 3 or 4 different opinions. I'm hearing thousands of opinions because every single comment on every single video is an opinion of the fights. So what happened with the Aylin Perez one, for example, is I broke the fight down. I watched the tape and there's nobody else putting anything out. I'm the first one putting out this content. So I don't hear anybody. And I looked at it and I said, Aylin wins this fight, plus 155. I'm going to bet on her because surely these odds are going to tighten, right? People are going to look at this the way I did, and the odds are going to get better, not worse. And the comments were like, Aylin loses, Aylin sucks, she sucks. And then the odds kept getting wider and wider. And I didn't bet. I was too chicken to continue to bet, right? I was like, no. But I would say, like, your gut, like, I would go with my gut. Even if you don't trust it enough to spend money, I would trust it enough to not spend money. You know what I mean? Like, so I think I go with my gut a lot, where it's like, that just doesn't feel right. Don't do it. And then I don't.
Yeah, that gut instinct thing, it's hard to, like, kind of override sometimes. It's like when, you know, Jacob was picking Holland for the week and just knowing that Holland's a tweener. You know, he's not a 185.
Too big and too small, yeah.
Yeah, he's too big and too small. And, you know, was Derrida, I forget, can't even pronounce the name right.
I always say it like he's French, but he's not French. I say Derrida, but that's not how you say it. So,
double weight champ, and he's an actual 185er. Like, that was just kind of easy for me. And just, I don't know, you hear those nuggets, and I appreciate Jacob for dropping those throughout the week. Those little thought nuggets he drops in the chat on Discord. You know, like when he was the Billy Gustave fight. You know, Billy coming out and saying he wasn't training.
Oh yeah.
During the weigh-in show, like that was just an easy like underplay for me. It was only like a negative 400, but still, like it's just an easy underplay for me. Just drop it. Yeah. I know you're not going to make it, and if you do get a knockout, good on you. I'm still going to win anyway. So
yeah,
you know, Jacob is, even though he didn't hit too well last week, but he still drops those good nuggets. And if you guys aren't on the Discord, keep up on
I would argue that he watches more tape. Dude, there's a lot of people saying they watch tape. They don't watch fucking tape. Most people don't watch tape. Jacob genuinely watches tape. And not only does he watch tape, he'll like I will watch tape on certain fighters, right? I didn't watch any tape for Yuri and Jamal. Why would I watch tape on that? I know those fighters. I didn't watch any tape. He did. He watches tape on every single fighter no matter what. So even if he gets a pick wrong or he's a little too confident with a bet, first of all, he was up money, good money last year. Lock of the week was up huge. So long term, the success is absolutely there, and he's proven it time and time again. But his insight is some of the best insight you'll get, even if you disagree with the pick, because everything he said about Kevin Holland was true. The only issue was Kevin can't defend a takedown. That was the one and only issue. Kevin cannot defend a takedown, and he was taken down almost immediately. But I started to get nervous because I picked DeRitter. I didn't bet on him because if you go watch that Gerald Meerschaert fight, DeRitter's rolling around like an idiot. Like an idiot. Like making stupid mistakes, treating it like a jiu-jitsu match. His striking looked god-awful. So it's like, you know, obviously that's not necessarily how that fight played out because of the takedown. But you watch it, and all of a sudden it's, you know, you're calling them nuggets, but the insight's there for sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking after watching your vlog with going to the fight night. Would you say? And I looked up the tickets, and
Wildly expensive.
I mean, everybody's in a different pay category. What you would?
I don't care how much money you make; those are fucking expensive.
Yeah. Yes and no. But the value. That was I was asking, like, just personal value for that money. Did you feel like you got the money's worth out of that? The whole experience.
Yeah, so the tickets for UFC Vegas 101, if you guys watched the vlog, I went with Jacob. Jacob's been to the Apex. That was his third time there. I went with Jacob. He bought the couch. The couch is $5,000. You have to buy the whole thing. So he paid $2,500. I gave him $2,500, and we shared the couch. So I spent $2,500. My flight was free, and the hotel was free because I just used points that I earned from work. I would say it was the single best UFC viewing experience. You're sitting on a freaking couch. You have like unlimited alcohol for 7 hours, unlimited food for 7 hours. You have a waitress bringing you the alcohol, and you can see, like, you're cage side and can see. The only people in front of us was the cameraman who moves. There was nobody. So like, that experience, seeing the Apex, all of that was incredible, and it was worth every penny. With that being said, I don't know if I would spend $2,500 again to do it. Like, it's a lot of money.
There's some easily spend that. I mean, any sort of vacation, you're going to spend that.
Vacation's more than 7 hours.
That's true, but I mean, you're in Vegas. There's other things you can go experience. But
that costs more money. You just said a vacation is $2,500, and this was 7 hours for $2,500. Now, the chairs are cheaper. The chairs are. Thank you. The chairs are cheap, and you didn't say God bless you. So first of all, you told me to fuck my advice when I mentioned DraftKings Fantasy. Then I sneeze right in front of you. You don't say bless you. You got some bad karma, some bad juju. Anyway,
Angelo, I apologize for not saying bless you. Someone picked it up for me. They picked up my slack. So
they did. They did. No, but where I was going with that is there are cheaper seats. The chairs. So there's like 3 levels of like bleacher type. There's literally folding chairs with cushions behind us. So there's like 5 couches. So behind us, there's chairs. The chairs are $1,850. So they're a little cheaper, $1,875, something like that. The chairs are a little cheaper. I also think the pricing changes by event. Meaning I think like better fight nights cost more than lesser fight nights.
I was looking at the one in March, and the couch was like $3,750. But here's on the flip side, so I had my bachelor party for UFC fight or International Fight Week 2 years ago. And the lower level in at the T-Mobile Arena, those were like $900 a ticket, and that was, I mean, it brought 4 people with me. Granted, yeah, I spend $900 is not the same as $3,750 for 2, but it's really not that big of a jump between the two to have an event, especially a personalized front row, see all the production staff. And you guys obviously have a couple different connections with like Minty Bets, and you get to go backstage and whatnot, but like just being there close enough to the fighters, that's the value that I can see in it.
The Apex was incredible. So, I mean, going with Jacob made the experience a lot better because he's not shy. He yells, he screams, enjoys himself, and I was worried I was gonna be embarrassed. Like, I was like, this guy's gonna embarrass the shit out of me. He's gonna be fucked. Yeah. But that's not what happened because everybody around us loved it. So it's not embarrassing when everybody's enjoying themselves. So like, it was a very memorable experience, meaning Chris Curtis sarcastically yelled at us, right? Jacob was yelling out advice to Ihor Pereira, and Chris Curtis looked at him and said, stop helping him. And it was funny and whatever. Then obviously C-Rod flipped him off. That was a great moment in time. Was there a couple? At one point when Thiago Moises was holding down Trey Ogden, Jacob yelled, he's just trying to hold you to win. And then Thiago's family yelled, just hold him to win, because they heard Jacob, and everybody laughed. So like, in that regard, it is a phenomenal experience. It is a very personal type experience, and there's nothing like it, and it's worth every penny. With that being said, they are expanding the Apex. They're doing this massive expansion.
Really?
I don't know what it's going to be when they're done. It may not be that same experience. It might be bigger, and all of a sudden it's not as intimate, and it's not that same experience. So I don't know about that, but
were they working on that when you were there? Like,
yeah, it's on.
Walls
Well, you don't see the construction because it's literally like a whole nother section basically, but they're adding bathroom. There's one bathroom. There's 2 toilets and 1 urinal. So like, you're literally waiting in line to take a piss. So it's incredible, and Jacob sort of forced me to do it, and I'm glad he did, because I never would have done it on my own. But I would say, if you're going to a pay-per-view, don't get the floor seats, because I got floor seats for International Fight Week. My wife got them for me for my 40th. You can't see shit because you're in a folding chair on a flat ground looking up, and like, you can't see anything. So like, sort of partially up the bowl and get the VIP experience. That's worth the money for sure. Because then you're getting pay-per-view level fights and have a good viewing experience. The problem with the Apex shows is you don't know what you're going to get. Some of those cards are bad.
Yeah, those are the put-togethers. How many were they did last? Was it 40 Apex? My question was the Apex, is that tied in with the PI, or are those separate buildings?
I don't know where the PI is. If it is tied in, I didn't see it, and the PI is not available to the public, so I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Apex is cool. Like, it's definitely cool. It's a fortune though. There's not an affordable seat. Like, if you're just trying to go to a fight and like whatever, it's not affordable. Half of it is paid tickets. The other half is free tickets that Dana White gives away. So you will see, what is cool is you'll get to see every single quote unquote celebrity that's in there, every single fighter that's there. You'll see everybody. You're all sharing the same hallway. You share the same bathroom. So you see everybody. Like, I was talking to Anthony Pettis after the C-Rod win. Like, it from that regard, it's really cool. You'll meet whoever not Tracy Cortez. Who's fighting Wei Lee? We just talked about her ass a couple callers ago. Yeah, what the hell is her name?
Not Tabitha.
Oh, I can't think of her. No,
No.
I can't think of her name. She walked past me. She walked past me a few times, and you know, I don't really. Tatiana Suarez.
There you
go. If I don't really care, the one and only person I was like, hey, can I get a picture? Was Taylor from Bussin' with the Boys. But outside of that, if you care about like meeting fighters and want to meet fighters and any other celebrities that may be there, you kind of can't not, because you literally are all sharing the same space. There's only one way in, one way out. So from that regard, it's really cool.
I had a really fucked up experience at UFC Chicago. We got floor seats. That was the Holly Holm fight. I forgot who she fought. She was the main event. No, it was a Covington Dos Anjos, Chicago UFC fight night. And we were floor seats, and we didn't realize it at the time. But we were sitting like 2 rows behind Rashad's family. Like, he brought his whole family, like all of his kids, his mom, his wife. And that was a fight that he got knocked out violently by Lionheart. And that's when he was actually on a tear. And just the screams of his family, like seeing him just laying there. Well, like those are like this kind of impacts other people.
I mean, that's the Apex for sure. Literally, where we were sitting, There's like 4 chairs, like folding chairs, like 1 couch over from us on the right and a couple couches over on the left. And those seats rotate. Those are the family members from the fighters, the family members, because the corners are around the cage. So like Trey Ogden's like wife and mother and father were right next to us. And then on the other side was Thiago Moises' family. So it does get weird. Like at one point, I forget what fighter it was. His daughter, like his 8-year-old daughter was there. So it's like, ugh, really feel bad yelling stuff right now. So it is definitely, and it's quiet in there too. So it's definitely its own environment for sure.
Like when you saw the knockout live of, was it
Al Hassan, his family was next to us. It was dicey.
Yeah, how he was down for a couple minutes on that one. Was there like just a dry?
It was like it was quiet and then people just started to get up and go do stuff because it was a long time and it was I don't think anybody was worried like, oh, is this guy dying? But it was definitely like awkward and his family's sitting right there quietly. So it's definitely a cool experience that everybody should do, but it's not cheap at all. And I guess it doesn't need to be because every seat that they could sell was sold. It's not like there was empty seats.
Right. So. Well, I appreciate you, Angelo. I'm gonna keep looking at the app and looking forward to fights in next weekend. Not sure what I'm gonna be doing this weekend besides working, but appreciate it.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. Jakey and I are going to these fights here in Frisco. So anybody watching that guy that called in earlier was in freaking Mesquite. Buy a ticket to these fights. They're $20. Come say hi. That wasn't for you. That was for everybody else. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. See ya. I am shutting this down. Sorry for there's like 11 of you still in this queue. Sorry, I see the faces. I can't sit here for 10 hours straight. I am sorry. We'll do another one of these. I promise. There's a lot of you still waiting. It is what it is. If you do live in the Dallas Metroplex area and you want to say hi to your boy at the fights, we will be here. PFC 42 in Frisco this Saturday at the Co-America Center. Tickets are like literally $20. There's nothing like regional MMA. Regional MMA is fantastic. These guys go all out. Everybody there is like friends or family, so the cheering's crazy. It's always a good time, so we'll be there for that. And if you're not a premium member, become one, you cheap son of a bitch. And if you like elevated content, different content, here's my recommendation. Watch this video on the channel. Just search Kuyu or Greatest Troll or whatever on the channel. Single greatest video we've ever made. Then, this is the follow-up from this bum right here. Where is he? He's in the chat. Hold on. There was a newer one. Here we go. This absolute bum. Both of these videos are about this guy here, James Kuyu. Watch this video to understand why this guy is my biggest troll. And then watch this video for last week when he snuck into my house and popped up right here in this window. You got nothing else to do. Watch those videos. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. If you're not premium, become premium. It's freaking $10. We have an app. Just search We Want Picks on the App Store. Safety parlay. Yeah, Rinya Nakamura absolutely burned us all last week. I still hit 10 of the last 12. 10 of 12. 10 of 12. 54% ROI from one single bet. And it's not just bets. We have the greatest research tool on planet Earth and data analyzer. I have a full tutorial up on how to use that. Do all the things. WeWantPicks.com. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'm getting all sorts of, you know what? Fuck you. You're on camera. How about that? Dumbass. I'm still hanging up. Bye. Yeah. See ya.